going to be recorded anyway, so.
Exactly.
But yeah, first on the topic list, obviously the patch. I don't know. I guess we can start with like the flip game changes, which was like, I mean, it's really small changes, but I actually really like the way it is now more than what it was before. Is even though it might be, is it harder? I'm not sure if it's harder, but
The main flip game?
yeah, the armory, the main
Uh,
armory.
So one thing that bugs me about it is that you can only flip two at a time. It sort of makes sense to me that they would make this change. I understand that, but
Well,
at the
you can
same
only
time,
flip two at a time with the first flip.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the first flip.
Non-omni-core.
Like I like that the or the next flip after that is cheaper, but the fact that you can't ever just take that single flip
Yeah,
at times where
it's
it'll just like put you over the edge for something,
no, no,
and
no.
that's all you need is one flip.
I definitely
It's-
agree. It's worse now to get everything, right? Like before you
That's
could
right.
just flip once for really, really cheap, and you would often do that if you had like a one out for a red or whatever. But now you're
Yeah.
kind of forced into double flip, which costs a bit more. I think it's like $1.50 or something like that. Um, I mean, like people are still gonna flip if they really want something, like just as a normal consumer type thing. Um,
Yeah.
and I think like they're gonna earn a lot more because a lot of time people would just flip that once really cheaply and then never flip again. This way they're basically forcing you to get double flip, right? So if you do want to flip, they're gonna get more money. Um,
I
Yeah.
personally like the change to double flip. I also like the change to more ways to win.
yeah, I agree. I
Even
think it
though
just
Yeah.
mathematically it might not be better. I have no idea because I don't do math like that, but it feels better.
that's what I wanted to say. That even if it's harder to actually get skins, it feels better because there's more chances of winning something, right?
Yeah,
Um,
the two new prizes are pretty small though. They're like 40
Yeah,
and 20.
it still helps though, right? If you get it, oh
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
really help you get the next tier usually though.
Mm-mm.
They help
No.
you
Yeah.
not get like shafted and get nothing. They help you get the 25s every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's nice. They usually get you at like 60 or 70, which is kind of an awkward place to be at. But it's a lot better than getting like 20 and not getting anything because that feels pretty bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think like if that's what they tried to do with the change, then like they completely succeeded, right? Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
It makes sense. I guess they're trying to counterbalance these two things.
hmm
I don't know, like I personally don't care much for like the extra flip now being like twice. It's kind of annoying if you don't have any shards at all, and it's like before you only needed like 50 shards, and hey, now I can go into the arena, I mean the armory, and flip. Now you have to wait
Yeah.
until 200 shards, which is like quite a bit more.
Well,
Maybe
I
by
mean,
making the smallest purchase kind of big, they encourage you to actually buy shards instead of like save them up.
Yeah, exactly. Which I mean,
Yeah.
from a business standpoint, I think it's completely fine. So I don't
It's
know.
interesting because by playing a lot, you get a lot of cores, but not a lot of shards.
Correct.
So you get kind of a ton of low tier rewards by playing a lot and not spending anything. Whereas if you play a little bit and spend a lot, then you get a bunch of like a few high tier rewards.
Yeah, I think Alex has mentioned that they might be doing the opposite, where you don't get as many cores, but you get more shards, just so that basically people would start flipping more, and as soon as you flip once, you get like that. What's it called? The
You,
what is it?
you, you get used to flipping.
Not used to flipping. What's that? It's that stupid gambling turn where, oh, I've already spent some money
Oh,
now.
oh,
sunk
sunk
cost.
cost.
Um,
Sunk
yes,
cost.
yes, sunk cost fallacy. There we go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, basically it gives you that effect, right? Because now you've already
Once-
flipped, right?
The correct way of looking at it is this: once you've spent the money, it's no longer yours. So once you put the money in the pot, it doesn't belong to you anymore, and you shouldn't count it as your money and chase it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So The same thing applies here. If the first flip or the first two flips is correct, you take it, but that doesn't mean you should flip the next time.
Yeah.
But then again, your likelihood of being successful the next time has increased because you've reduced to random options. So actually,
But
you're
your
probably
payment is double.
Yeah.
your payment is double, but you might be getting more value. I haven't crunched the
Yeah.
numbers. I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
also interesting.
Yeah.
So-
that's why
so-
they get more expensive.
Yeah, is because you're getting better value with each flip because there's less
No,
variables.
no.
There's
It's,
more combos that you start to unlock.
Not just
Yeah.
that, like the whole being forced to double flip on the first. I didn't like even think about it before, but that way they can make the third flip or second flip, however you look at it, cost the same amount of shards as the first two flips, right? Even though it's actually twice as expensive, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's the same amount of shards, like cost is the same. It's actually
But it's a single flip.
Yeah.
And so here's some feedback that I think is important, is that you should know, and I don't know if you actually know in game what you're investing. So if you're going to pay $1.99 and you get two flips, it should clearly state two flips. And if you're going to get one flip, it should clearly state one flip. I don't know if it does that, and I don't have any.
It says one flip / two flips.
Oh, it does.
There's a
No,
spot
no,
where it says it. It's like sort of clear.
I think
Kinda
it does
clear.
says
I could
for
imagine
two more
missing
flips.
Yeah,
And being mad like once.
yeah. One time you make the mistake and you'll be upset.
Yeah. I mean, that happened to me in the black card one.
Black Lab, yeah.
Oh, you thought you were
Yeah.
getting a double flip for $7.99 or whatever it is?
No, I've always had all these shards that I just like don't spend faster than I earn. and then I just like blew them all on just filling out the black lab to see what happens, not realizing you could mass over the master key and then it would tell you what it does. And then I just like got all these rewards and I got the master key and then I just went in all chat and I'm like, what does master key do, guys? I got this thing and I don't know where it is. And it took so long, like no one knew what I was asking and no one could explain it. And then Alex eventually got it and explained the master key to me and then I was so mad.
Rip shards.
I'm over it now.
That's a lot of
too
shards,
funny.
though.
That's a good
So
story.
you wasted a bunch of shards by flipping when you already had all three rewards, right?
No, it doesn't actually let you do that. I just never got the last rewards until the very last flip where it actually gives you two flips again. Sort of the last one is free. And then I got the
Okay.
master key and like the third red or something like that.
Oh, that's gotta suck.
And it just did nothing.
Uh,
I have a million shards again though because now I got the POC top
Yeah.
6.
the
Yeah,
legendary.
you got the hook.
Yeah.
Got that as well, yeah.
Oh, you guys are so rich in
Yeah,
comparison
we're just
to me.
rolling in shards.
I know.
I can't wait for the reset
so
so I can
poor.
finally do like a 30-hour core opening stream and just get extra salty.
It's not necessarily confirmed whether or not they're doing that.
They said they will do it, I think.
They didn't say they would do it. They said that they would probably do it. There's a big
Yeah.
I don't remember.
There was no confirmed for sure we are going to reset again. That was not
Yeah.
stated.
Damn.
And if they did it, it would have made more sense to do it before people could start paying for it. Because now that people can pay for it, there's more accounting involved in redoing it. And
Kind of. It's like it's all tracked anyways, so it's not that hard to roll back everything.
no, I know, but
I don't think
Yeah.
it's hard at all, like at all, from like the dev standpoint. Like they just roll
Just
back
like-
data, right?
Well,
Which they should
here-
have saved anyways.
Here is hoping that that when they create their client, they decide to reset.
Yeah, I hope they definitely do because let's just say I didn't spend my my first 8,000 charges, so
Very responsibly.
yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of
It's like I got all this money. Let's just blow it all at once.
Yeah, I threw away like 7,000 getting like the long nose emote or something.
Oh, wow.
I think it makes a lot of sense for them to reset it because you're having, like, if the game is changing, then your value from your shards and your cores have not been the same consistently. So you want to have everyone get the same value.
Hmm.
Correct.
Definitely.
Correct. And you
Yeah,
don't-
or like
don't
it can
wanna-
change over time. I don't know.
Yeah, but you also don't want necessarily your most avid supporters to feel like they got screwed in the process. Right?
Yeah.
Because we're the people who supported Kickstarter. We're the ones who've been here from the beginning. We're the ones who've busted our ass having fun, testing their server. It's
Yeah,
not
but
really
what if
fun.
they want to switch to a system where it's harder to get stuff? Then if they
Yeah,
do a reset,
that's-
we're getting shafted, and we're
Yeah,
like, no, don't reset us. Just change it without resetting.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they already reset it once and made it harder, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, but
I don't
again,
think that's very good either, though.
yeah, no, I think that I don't think that it's going to be. I don't know. I can't imagine that Lunark's going to do anything to alienate their player base. That doesn't make sense. So, I trust that they'll make the right decision.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm honestly fine with either no reset or with a reset. I'm just like, if they do reset, it's gonna be kind of fun opening everything again with like having 50,000 shards or however much
Yeah.
I'm gonna have, right? So like, yeah.
So,
Oh.
how
wait.
many? I have a question, and this is just jealousy on my part. How many black cards have you guys played so far? Because
I
I
had two, I think.
I've had zero.
I've
I've
played
not
two.
even filled up my bar once. I know
I've
that Arca's gotten like 6.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Arca, but Arca's insane. Somehow he has like
Well,
I
he
don't
also
even know.
has all the skins unlocked, so
Yeah.
he just only has the
Yeah.
orbs. I have the orbs in the 100 slot, and those
Yeah,
things
that's
filled
it.
up my black card on like 8 cores the first time.
I've
And
seen
that's when
I've seen one core in the like 100 slot, I think, or one shard, I guess. What do you call it?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've only gotten 2, and I've gotten 1 skin out of it.
What about you, Lama?
Yeah.
Lucky you. I had 2 black cards and I didn't get anything.
Rip.
Oh, wow.
And I think I got to 90% on the third one, and then I ran out of cores.
So Arcanishu today opened another Black Lab ticket, I think, and he got the Master Key, if I remember. Or was that
Yeah.
yesterday?
That was yesterday on stream.
That was
yeah.
yesterday. That was
Just
amazing.
like not even flipping again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
That's sick.
And I can't even get
not
Stormy's
only
Scroll to
not
play.
only is he the player that plays the most, and he's pretty good, so he gets good rewards. He
Yeah.
also has to be lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's everything, right? God damn it.
He gets it
I
all.
got literally the worst flip, the exact same one twice in a row. I got 2 of the master keys, and then 1 of each of the other ones. There's not even good flip again value there. It was like, it was just so disappointing. I can't even spend shards effectively on it. I can't get anything.
Well,
Rip.
Lama,
That's pretty brutal.
we know that you're a miser and you don't use your shards anyway. So don't sit here and try to tell us you would have blown 700 for a 5 chance. You would never have done that, or whatever it is, 1 in 7 chance.
I may or may not be sitting on over 20,000 shards right now.
Yeah,
May or may not.
the
Cannot
next
confirm
time,
or deny.
the next time we have a podcast, we ask you, oh yeah, I'm sitting on 30 now. I haven't spent any.
No. He wins the world championship, right? And then he's gonna be at like 100,000 shards, and it's like, yeah, I'm sitting at like about 100k maybe.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a shard prize for winning?
I don't think they have said it yet, but I'm guessing maybe you get some extra
Elliot,
shards. I don't know,
Elliot's in
probably
our
not.
chat. He could answer that question.
I
if he
don't think
chose.
they give you shards for winning.
Yeah, I thought it was just
Yeah.
the like winner gets the unit design.
Though I should be getting some
Oh.
for
That's
For the
something we
Blitz.
haven't talked about. That's not on our list of things. But since we got Apooche here and he's not a regular, I want to know what he wants to. What I want a preview on the unit.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
man.
no.
There's so many ideas. I have no idea.
No,
I
no,
would
no.
have to. I would win, and then I would start thinking seriously about what my
Yeah, me
unit is.
too.
See, yeah, there's also I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to talk about here, but I mean, like Elliot or Alex has already said that they're probably gonna do a small thingy where they're gonna
A thingy?
basically like
They're gonna
quote
do a
unquote
thingy?
no quote unquote interview the players and then like just have data for each player,
Yeah.
stuff like that, right?
Oh, you get
So-
a custom rare skin
Oh,
with your
wow.
new custom unit.
Oh
That's
my
sick.
god!
Oh man.
Can't wait. Right?
Oh man.
Is it a unique skin that only you get?
No,
It's a
if it's
custom
a rare
rare
skin, It's
Okay.
So people can earn it, but you get it.
yeah, you get
Okay.
it. It's probably
Okay.
just like
Oh.
the emotes that people have created, like my
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
like you can now get your Doom awaits or whatever, and that was only originally for people who solved the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I assume that, and I don't think that they're going to go out of their way and invest in art for one person,
Nah, I
no matter
doubt.
what they've won.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, maybe for like the world champion at like an actual date, but I doubt they would like. Oh yeah, here have a skin
No, it's
for
just gotta
winning
be
worlds.
a premium skin,
Yeah.
and you have to like make people want it.
Exactly. Now, you guys think that Arca's serious about Fire Spinner?
I think he actually is. Like, I'm not
Uh,
even joking. I
yeah.
think he's actually serious.
You think he's
I
gonna
think-
if he wins? You guys have to stop him. You can't let him win.
Yeah, I know. We can't let him win.
Stop
but-
the madman.
You
I
gotta
think he
stop
is, like-
madness.
He and Will and Elliot will be forced to like sit in a room and come up with a balanced version of Fire Spinner, and then we'll just have that unit and we'll all have to deal with it.
I
And
just
Marco
imagine.
like crush people with it every day.
I just imagine like all of them actually sitting in the room for like
Yeah.
3 weeks, like banging their heads at this problem. How do we make this balance? Just like
Okay.
Will losing his mind,
Imagine-
Elliot becomes an alcoholic.
I would. What I want to see is I want to see someone win and bring back AR Groans and add RNG to Prismata again.
I don't think they're gonna allow it.
God.
Sadly.
That would fly.
No,
That
no,
did
no.
that did lead to some of the most interesting games I've ever played, though. I must admit.
I
Just
played-
because who was winning could change at random times. You know, Ragnaros could hit Ragnaros.
I remember one game. Opponent got Tia. Switch back to my turn. His Tia dies.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You could reintroduce AR Groans with like can only kill 4 health units, right? You don't have to make it like can kill any unit on the field.
No.
It
No,
has to
no.
be RNG in some way.
Oh no. I don't
Well,
think
yeah,
they're
it
gonna
would be
allow
hard.
it at all.
No,
Either
no,
way.
obviously I don't think so. It's too far from what Prismata is. So,
But
but
I don't know. Going forward with the patch, right? I guess new cramming. How do you guys like new cramming? I know some people have said like they absolutely hate it.
those people are crazy.
I know.
What do you mean new cramming? Like
The new cramming algorithm.
The accordion style.
Oh, the new cramming.
stacking.
Oh yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah,
I think it's
as do I.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Llama?
it's really good.
Yeah,
was-
okay,
I
we're
like
in
how-
agreement.
I like how there's.
I mean, I can
skill-
disagree just to disagree.
I like
But
how
what are you
there's
gonna
a
say?
tiny amount of skill involved in using the new style. Because so say you want to leave back like only 5 drones, then it's good to like mine them all and then unclick 5. But if say you only want to mine 5, then you kind of you can do it from the opposite side, sort of.
Oh,
Yep.
so that I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
it's cool.
It
It's a good
adds,
And
UI
same with
feature.
like
it adds some
blowing
skill to your
pixies.
clicking.
You can shift click the pixies and then unclick 1 or 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
The important things we're discussing here is
Yeah.
to how to click your units properly.
yeah,
so that it
click
looks the
units
best.
by
So
by
it
going
looks
from
Llama
left to
just started
right.
playing Blitz, right? So
Yeah.
that's why this is coming up.
Oh, and the
Thinking about these things.
the big
The
dot,
most efficient way to click.
big dot. I don't know. I don't.
Oh, it just
like...
got changed today to be like all gray and
Yeah, but now it's not noticeable. I mean, it's
so-
a big
yeah.
dot and it looks nice, but it's not noticeable.
Big
I
dot
like-
question mark. I'm lost.
I
What are
like
you guys
the
talking
original one, and then something just has to kick in at the same time that the cramming algorithm does that moves the dots that you can see them.
I agree.
about?
Like, what do you think about maybe like a border type style of like where the 5th card actually becomes a bit brighter or something? That
Yeah,
would
that's kinda cool,
probably that would probably make it really easy for counting because you don't have to look for a small dot. You just see the card, right?
Yeah,
It stands out a bit.
I think like if those units were significantly more shiny, it would be great.
The one problem I guess it introduces is that maybe it looks too important and then new players might be confused. But I don't think it's
Yeah.
hard to like just put that into like one of the first tutorials, like where they see when they buy the 5th unit. It's like,
I feel like
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like borders like that should come when animated skins come, though, because that's when you could really get into making the borders be pretty cool
yeah.
and like shiny and you know have like a little like glint that goes across them every once in a while. And...
On the topic of that, that's probably a good cosmetic thing as well that they could introduce, just like borders for units, right? Just like in, say, card games, you have like your custom foils, right? It's the
your
same
custom
kind of
5th border
yeah, basically.
that you could earn, and then you could have your favorite way of denoting the 5th card.
Maybe no, I'm not saying like just for the 5th card, but I mean like in general, just like a border for units, maybe. Oh no, maybe.
Maybe if you're super elite, you could unlock bases other than 5. Be counting every 4th guy.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Base
like,
5, base 10, base 8.
base 2. There we go.
Counting powers of 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
So
What
what else did they even change in the patch?
I just wanted to say, it's mostly just like performance changes, and obviously they got rid of the loading bug. Yeah, they definitely got rid of it.
They got rid of that for sure,
Yeah,
guys.
I
When
haven't
that
seen it
specific
coming.
loading bug is gone, you
Yeah,
have to give
yeah.
them that.
That
But,
one instance of the loading bug has been removed from the game.
yeah.
And new ones have popped up.
I mean, I think it's progress.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, of
no,
course,
definitely.
I'm sure it's progress. It's got. I mean, they moved forward, right? So it's
Yeah.
got to be progress.
Yeah.
98 little
Not a
bugs
solution,
in the code.
but a
98 little bugs in the code.
I mean, yeah.
like
you at least
code
don't get
that
like
patches
lost
around
ones in it, right?
120 little bugs in the code, or however that goes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the lost one is gone. Now you just lose when you can't connect. That's great. That's so much better. I love that feature. That feature is the best.
Yes.
Can't load, guess what? Get punished.
Lunark has changed their names to Sinks. But no, I think like the patch was like the main things about the patch, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
What do you guys
Yeah,
think
there's
of
no
the?
balance changes or anything.
What do you guys think of the new skins that you're able to unlock? They
I got
made
some pretty
avail-
sweet ones.
they made available some pretty nice looking skins.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the Black Lab skins. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
talking about. I'm not
Yeah.
talking
I
about
got the Stormy Seas Protoplasm. I got
Oh.
the Super Mecha Sinestra, and
Oh,
a
that's
few other
really nice.
ones.
I was like one flip off of Stormy Seas Protoplasm, and that's like, I think my current favorite skin in the game, until Blue Glow Centrifuge gets added. So yeah, I was mad, salty,
bit.
you could say.
Yeah, you made a whole
Yeah.
video about how salty you were.
No, but I don't know. Like, there's a lot of really good skins. Actually, I'm surprised at how many like good emotes, I guess you could say, are locked behind like the Black Lab.
Yeah.
There's some really good ones. The
Oh, we need to-
paperclip.
We need to talk about the return of Good Game.
Ooh, good
Mm.
game.
I
Good
haven't
Game
earned
is
it yet,
back.
but I'm
Game is
excited.
Yeah, Good Game is back.
Pay to
So-
BM.
Yeah, pay to BM.
Yeah.
So why is I would think the Good Game would be the more expensive one and not the GG whatever the other one is. I don't even know what it is.
I think it's just
GGWP.
GG. Exclamation mark. GGWP
Yeah,
is I
yeah,
think
why
just
is
the
that- why is
basic
that-
one. Is it?
Well, I mean, I guess that's for us. It's for granular gaming, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's GG. It's so
GG.
expensive. That's got to be it.
Oh man, I really need that emo now.
Yeah.
GG. You just do it when you're playing versus granular gaming, right? You
Yeah,
go good
yeah.
game GG. There we go.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad that I have my Can't Touch Vivid emote.
You have
That's my new favorite emote.
Oh,
The one I've been worried about, and I haven't seen it brought out, is I think there's a Death Visits Vivid drone.
Oh, there definitely is
So-
a death visits.
I'll
Yeah.
get it and then I'll spam it versus you and.
Oh, there's definitely a
Yeah.
death visits.
Yeah, so it's always going to be the contest once people have that and know how to use it.
Yeah, You can't touch my drone in Death Visits.
Yeah.
The skill in the emoting is so high.
Yeah.
I think it might be higher than the skill required to actually play the game. Like,
Yeah, we need some emote tournaments.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
somebody get on that. Start hosting it.
So about searching emotes like in game,
Yeah.
it like very very near impossible to actually do. So what I was thinking is they should categorize somehow, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I'm some kind of
So-
like emote inventory where you can go like, oh, animated emotes, death visits, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely should be categorized so that, I mean, they could even have a BM bucket, right?
Yeah.
Or
BM
whatever.
And you could
emotes.
even make your own categorization.
Yeah, you make your own category.
Exactly.
That'd be the
Perfect.
multiple
best.
pages.
Yeah, you can have, like, because typing and searching, you literally have to know exactly what you're looking for, or you won't
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah, the skill is
So-
just too high.
Yeah, it requires too much work. I just used my 9.
Mm, no, but I do know that. Wait. What did I even want to say?
I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, I want better search features. That's what I want. Both for emotes and for replays. Like, I've been
Oh,
waiting
of course,
for.
we want
Yeah.
replay. I mean, everybody's been begging for,
Re-
replay features, and they're
Such
they're
as like,
just-
oh, find me every single replay that includes this unit. Like,
Well, I
create
just hope that
that.
when they finally build the client out, that they build that into the client.
Yeah,
you
oh,
know?
that'd
Yeah.
be-
Yeah.
So that it's just an integral part of what the game is. Because right now, like I don't even use my replays. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, after in a game, immediately, if there's something in particular I have questions about, I might log it and go back and look at it. But for the most part, I can't. Like I have, I don't know, 4,000 games or something. There's no way.
You're
There's no
complaining.
way. Yeah, what do you have, like 10,000?
7,000 replays. But yeah, it's like.
Yeah, it's too much.
I still haven't found like this one amazing game I had that I wanted to find for like
But you remember the
half a year
units
now.
right?
Yeah, I
And-
remember the
And
units
you
in it.
remember your opponent. So
I don't,
all you
sadly.
do, oh, you don't, but you know what units were in the set. So
Yeah, if I can if I can narrow it down to even one unit in the set, it's already enough to probably search for it, right?
Yeah.
exactly.
Um,
But I'm sure that those features will be available.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
You'll have to have your replays saved on your machine, I think, or it'll just take forever. Because it takes so long to load all your
Yeah,
replays, and I can't search
definitely.
through them until it loads at least some of them.
maybe like a good way is like that it saves like a kind of like an opt-in
A reference
replay
point.
thing where
It
it
just-
saves
Yeah,
it
of
if you
course.
want. Otherwise, it just saves like the last 100
Well,
or whatever.
no,
Yeah.
I mean, it should just be able to save a reference point, like a single code, like your replay code. You like that save file doesn't need to be big.
Yeah.
It just needs to save all of your replay codes in text form, and then be able to use that to reference a database that Lunark has.
Yeah, probably.
So
Yeah.
the solution's not that complicated.
It definitely isn't. It's just, nah,
It's
whatever.
just we don't have a client yet, so it's
Yeah.
probably a while off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. Please, Flash player kills me. But
I mean, Flash is dead, so they'll kill it eventually, and then by then, Lunark won't have a choice, right?
yeah.
Whenever that
I
happens.
mean, that's gonna happen far enough in the future. Hopefully, that we'll already have a
hopefully,
client.
hopefully, soon TM.
Yeah, though, I don't know, tourney stuff. There's been a lot happening recently.
Yeah.
Blitz tournament victory, woohoo!
Yeah, nice.
that
You're
was
going to talk
exciting.
about tournaments just to blow your own spot up.
Yes, that's
Hey,
the
Like
only
you know
reason.
the classic.
Aether and I also both qualified for Masters tier on the same day, right?
Oh, right, you
So,
did.
There was a lot
Yeah,
of
we
tournament
did.
winning going on.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna just leave the room for a little bit. I have nothing to discuss in this section. No,
And
All right.
It's
all-
okay,
all
we don't
three of
even
us were-
need you, it's fine.
all three of us were top 6, right, in the Blitz?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all
And then-
qualified for that as well. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I went to 7 games against you, Crash.
Yeah.
And that was pretty intense.
I got to 7. I actually went to 7 games with all 3 of my opponents,
Yeah.
both you, Wise, and Arcanisho. Somehow
Yeah.
And I
won
went to
like
game
every
7, too.
Yeah.
It was a very close tournament.
Only
Yeah.
Arca versus Red Ram was somehow like 4-1 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Arcot's strong.
I don't know, like wildcard tourney. What did you guys think the Wise Guy and Andreas would go through, or who did you guys think would go
I
through?
I was pretty sure Wise Guy would make it. Or not pretty sure, but I thought he was in my like top 3 contenders.
Yeah.
I expected Timex or Relevation to be the other slot. Andreas impressed me a lot at that tournament, though. He played really well.
I mean, Andreas has been really, really solid on ladder for a while now. It
Yeah.
shouldn't have been too much of
Yeah.
a surprise. He hasn't really participated in a lot of tournaments, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also had like Wise Guy and definitely my top like 2 even. And I wanted obviously, and I felt like Timex could definitely take it, especially considering he was 7th, right? So he only needed to win 2 series or 2 matches to qualify.
Yeah.
But I also knew that he hadn't played a lot.
Yeah, he
since
was rusty.
poker and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like completely convinced he would take it, and he couldn't. The second match versus Wise Guy, couldn't get through it. But no, I think both players are amazing. Like they're both really good players and definitely deserve to be in the world
Yeah.
finals, right?
Yeah. And there's one more Masters League qualifier. Do you guys have any ideas who would
Ooh.
make that? Only 2 more spots left.
probably not me.
That's who's left that like hasn't qualified that yet? Lightning, I think, has said that he can't participate in the last one,
Yeah,
which is
he did.
yeah.
I don't know who has to requalify. I wasn't really keeping up with that completely. But I guess the people in the tournament, there was a lot of people played well that aren't normal tournament names in that last one, and I'm hoping to get someone unexpected.
That'd be cool to see a new face or just somebody
Yeah.
that hasn't really been participating much in tourneys before, right?
Yeah, because there's a few players who are pretty good right now who have a couple weeks to get better in time for that tournament, and there could be a lot of competition over it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm definitely hope. I mean, I can't wait to see who gets through, right? I
Yeah,
got
Yeah.
so Celerity posted in chat some of the favorites: Marmite, Jampy Dampy, Pytho, Andreas, Relevation.
Yeah,
So
I
those
agree with
are
all
Oh
those.
yeah, Elevation and Andreas definitely. I completely forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I
Yeah,
would have said I think Lightning would make it, but since he can't attend, it's like yeah.
it's unfortunate.
But
So
Yeah.
how many players are going to be in this next season of Masters?
16, right?
yeah, I think it's the same as this season.
Yeah, 4 groups
they
of 4.
They didn't adjust the. I thought they were going to adjust or increase the count.
I
It's
think
just
the
such a
same.
reasonable number.
Yeah, it's,
Although-
it's
Yeah.
just easy for groups as well, right? For groups of 4, it's just
Yeah,
it's nice.
I mean,
So the format
ours-
isn't changing at all, right?
I don't think it is. If anything changes, it's probably just going to be like a focus towards like base plus 11 or whatever. Since this season has been like more focused towards base plus 8.
I'd
Because
actually like to see a change in the format. I'm not really a big fan of the tiny groups.
really?
Yeah,
I think
What
you
do
should
you
be able to
think?
play
two
play more
divisions.
players. And,
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
should turn
it's like-
into.
It's 6 weeks of groups, and you're only playing 3 people.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? Should the format like maybe look like? What, 3 groups
you-
maybe?
you could do 2 divisions. You could do
2
3
or 3.
groups.
Yeah, 2 or 3. I think I would prefer that.
But then
You
like
could keep the groups and then have people play people in other groups. but still
Outside,
just
yeah,
be
you
scored.
can have like
against
double
theirs.
conference games and
Yeah.
1 outside conference game per whatever. Like it's not that big a deal. So you can
sure, but it's like I mean, it's not necessarily harder to keep track. It's just maybe slightly more confusing if you have something like that, right? Because
I mean
like
they
You
do
just
it
get to
almost
play more people.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and also, I mean, like Crash might not be able to relate, but they do this in the NFL, right? You have a division of 4, you play everybody in your division twice, and then you play every other game outside of the division. The games inside the division count for more than the games outside of the division. So, like when you're trying to tie break at the end, so it's very simple to do something like that,
Yeah, maybe.
where you get to play more than just the same three people over and over and over again.
Yeah, okay, I can definitely see the argument for like, yeah, 6 weeks, only three people. Like,
Yeah.
it's a long time to play only three people. But on the other hand, I think like by only playing these three people, like it actually becomes like a, I guess you could say, hierarchy of like maybe not skill, but like how good each player has done. So that like it actually gives you the best player out of the group, and then like the maybe the worst player drops out, right?
Well, already 3 players go through, so like only the worst, well, not the worst, but the one who performed the worst is going to drop out anyway. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, I can definitely see like arguments for making I mean,
but it
groups
is
bigger.
nice. So we all agree that, you know, there is some RNG, you know, in player 1, player 2, right? In any
Of
given set.
course.
Okay, so since we all agree on that, the fact that you play the same player twice and you're effectively playing, what, 10 matches against them? Is that what it is? It's 5 matches each time?
Isn't it?
No, it's 3. It's 3 each.
So you
Oh,
play
it's just
each
each.
player
You
like
play
6
6
total
games.
games.
Yeah, okay, so you're playing 6
Yeah.
total games. You know, the more games you're playing against a player, the more likely you are to see the stronger player win this series, right?
Yeah.
So there is that advantage of playing the same people a lot.
Yeah, exactly. There's no like, it becomes very obvious who is, I mean, quote unquote very obvious. Who has been performing the best in a group to compare to somebody who has been performing the worst, right? Unless it's like a 1 game difference in the whole group, which is possible but rare. No, but I am personally completely fine with the Master League format.
I think it's pretty decent overall. I just prefer larger groups.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that.
Well, and again, the solve for larger groups is have, you know, make it if you want to play everybody in your division twice, play everybody in your division twice, and then play 4 more games outside of division for a total of 10 matches. But that now it becomes a 10-week event versus a 6-week event, which is logistically much harder for players.
Yeah,
I think it makes sense how they're doing it.
If we're talking
Yeah, I
about,
agree.
if we're talking
Just to
about
simplify it.
format as well, right? Worlds format, like
Yeah.
that's a topic, and then like
Yeah.
another thing is Arcanicious King of the Hill tourney, right?
Yeah.
Like those are like
I,
two completely different types of formats, right? As well.
Yeah.
So I guess we can just talk about Worlds now. Like, what do you guys think of Worlds?
I like the Worlds format. It's
I really like it.
I think it's going to do a good job of balancing out. At least in the beginning, it's a round robin, so it should do a better job of selecting for the best players than an elimination bracket does. And then it doesn't go to an elimination bracket; it goes to something that's seeded by the round robin, but gives the top 4 a chance to just go on a huge run of wins, and any of those players could win it. But you know, whoever got number 1 and number 2 have a much better shot for the most part.
Yeah. Definitely agree there. It's
What do you think about? Well, let's back up just a second because you're jumping to championship round. What did you guys think of the prelim rounds and the scoring option and how they handled it? Because that's feedback we can give because we experienced it.
Well, we haven't experienced it yet.
well, no,
Well,
we
no,
did in
the
Grand
prelim
Prix.
rounds, the qualifying.
Oh, the
The
prelim
qualifiers.
rounds ones wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was enough of them to, I think, do a decent job of selecting top players.
Yeah.
like,
I might have rather wanted to see a Swiss at some point, maybe for the last chance qualifier or something. I'm not sure.
I would, yeah, I think having different format ones would be cool. Like maybe some
Yeah.
round robin, some elimination bracket.
It's interesting because like round robins and Swisses would take longer, right? So and like the double elimination already took like 6 hours per Grand Prix, right? At least.
Yeah.
And that's a huge commitment for a player to make, especially when like you're not really getting much for winning, right?
Yeah, you couldn't do a complete round robin. I'm just saying you could just have
You
like,
could do bracketed
some
round robins.
yeah, just
Yeah.
random like you
You could do
play.
divisional round robins.
That like no, I
Yeah.
definitely agree. Like that could work, but like even already, like I think a problem you could say of the Grand Prix was the length it took, right? I mean, if you want the best players to get through, then yeah, the length is required, but it is a huge commitment, right? So I'm wondering, is there a way you could maybe shorten a single tournament, but just have more of them, right?
I think that would be better.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have tournaments that sort of break it up into not everyone participating in every single tournament, but just smaller tournaments with less people in them.
Well, and also keep in mind, right now the player base is really small, but I would imagine that as the player base grows, if they host tournaments like this, there's going to be like 20 qualifiers and aggregate points and all kinds of other things that they're considering. That is not just this format was designed to accommodate the players we had, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it makes sense at the time, but
The
it's like
format.
going forward, of course.
better formats could be made going forward, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you guys think about the way the points were scored? I mean, essentially, if you came in first, you were almost guaranteed
No.
a spot.
So the
almost
only
guaranteed
reason it played out this way was because like only 4 players won the tournaments. It should have been possibly expected that 6 or 5
Okay, well,
unique
let's say that
winners.
6. Let's say that there were 6 unique winners. They all have 100 points, right? And
You-
then
You need to play
Some of them
second
have, like,
twice
seconds,
through winners bracket,
thirds.
and then somebody else and then you just get second again, and you're already above him,
Yep.
right? Or you,
So it's
you
definitely
play-
possible.
It's
Yeah, I
easy.
guess.
You don't have to win. You play second through winners, and then you place third, and you're ahead of somebody that won once, right? The only reason it was like kind of even if you placed kind of well, you might have still not gotten like top 8 or top 12 or whatever. Kind of because like 4 players really took all the points, right?
Yeah.
Because like not only did they win multiple times, like Arca winning 3 times and the Belange twice, right? Or no,
Me and Debo each won once and
No,
got second
Devange
twice.
won. Yeah.
who won twice then?
It was Silver. No, no one else won twice.
Oh,
Arca
right,
won
Arca
3.
Llama.
just won 3 times, yeah.
Silver, Llama, and
Yeah.
Devange won 1.
Right, right.
and then
And
3 for Arca.
And yeah, but
Yeah.
Arca won 3 times, and like Di Belange and Eider Lama came in like second twice or something,
Yeah.
right? Along
Yeah.
to the fact that they also won once. So it was like these 3 players had like all the points, and everybody else just had almost nothing, right? So it
Yeah.
probably looks weirder than it would have normally. I mean, on average.
Fair enough.
I
Yeah,
was
I had like a
completely
second and a
fine.
fourth or something,
Yeah.
and made it.
You're gonna have to do better in the finals, buddy.
Oh yeah.
But
So,
don't know.
guys, this is a knockout. This is a knockout Arca tournament. That's the official name for it. Because I really don't want Fire Spinner in the game.
I don't know. I like. Are we prepared for Wise Guy's extremely aggressive red
Oh.
unit to come out?
Yeah.
no, I
Turn
think
one Animus.
Yeah.
add blood page to the base set.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not prepared for that.
No, I want to. I want either for me to win or for Llama to win, because I know Llama won't make a stupid unit. It might be boring, but it won't be stupid.
Nice.
So if I win, I
Thanks.
can just say don't add a unit, and then like I can't be blamed for adding a bad unit. That's my plan.
No, you got to add some crazy unit, man. kidding me?
I'm gonna. I know the unit. I'm gonna add in Gauss rotator, build
so-
10 conduits, deal 20 damage.
So Llama has a new tagline: "Boring, not stupid." It's going to be
Thanks,
your
guys.
tagline from now on.
I like it.
Yeah.
Boring, not stupid.
Yeah. You'll probably hand them a unit and they'll be like, "Oh, we don't have to do anything. This is already perfect."
Yeah, it's already balanced. Perfect.
Throw it in,
Perfect.
guys.
Zero work for us.
Just, oh
Go
yeah,
back and
this
forth.
fits in really well. It's like he presents them a 10-page paper on the math behind it and then why it's completely balanced, and they're like, yeah, this looks, yep, that's fine.
Shortest test process of any unit.
No, but format-wise, King of the Hill format, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Weekly tournament, like single elimination,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. What
It
you
looks
think about
crazy to me. Like, that's
Oh.
a lot of tournaments.
that? Yeah,
It's
a lot.
every week is a commitment. But
Well, I mean, again, what's nice is that if you are King of the Hill, you're only playing one match, right?
you're only
Yeah.
playing a best out of
Like-
7.
Yeah, you're only playing the best out of 7. So if you want to beat the King of the Hill, you got to commit to go every week that it's whenever it's being run. But
Yeah. I guess maybe they'll equilibrate at some nice size going
Yeah.
forward, and like new players who want to try it out can hop in and have that be like a good practice tourney. But if we get just like everyone
300
wanting to play
players.
King of Hill all the time, and those might have to go invitational.
I wonder how long the first King of the...
The first
Oh,
King
I
of the Hill
guess,
is going to be
yes.
nasty.
No, how long the first one's gonna last, I wanted to say.
Oh.
Like,
Well-
the first King of the Hill, how long is he gonna actually
And,
last
I mean,
as
on
King of the
average,
Hill?
the expected is like one, right? One win.
Yeah.
Is that the expected?
One or
value?
two.
Maybe.
Like, depending on
Something
how
like
big
that.
the skill gaps get,
Yeah.
someone could last for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, Arca isn't winning it, so...
But
if
he
he's
has
not-
it tiered to give them a disadvantage as they last longer.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's like probably actually expected value is like
Yeah, I was looking at the chart and like no one's ever gonna get to the last or even the second to last tier
Well-
the way this is structured.
Just watch
yeah.
me. Just watch me. No.
keep in mind, guys, also that there is the fatigue factor. So the people who are challenging the King of the Hill had to climb to the top of the hill, and the
That's
King's
true.
just been chilling. No mental fatigue, fresh, ready to go. So there
No,
is
no,
that
mental
advantage.
fatigue is gonna build up for the king because he's constantly gonna be panicking. Oh, please, no, don't let Llama win. Right? It's just, no, not that opponent, no!
No DB, no llama.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, no, please, I can't take it, right? Just shivering there, and then he finally has to fight them, and he's just like, nope.
I surrender.
Yeah.
Well,
Unless
you
it's
know-
me against TV.
Arca.
Yeah, but then maybe
Days.
Llama will be the king forever.
Oh, maybe.
Did you
That'd be
guys?
really funny if if we get a rematch the instant next week.
Yeah.
And then you win again, right? Yeah. It's gonna happen. I can see it.
It's unlikely, but
I wanna take this in a slightly different direction. So we've seen a couple of different team tournaments, and I have a format that's similar to the King of the Hill, where every team member plays every team member of the other team once, one game, and
Yeah.
just an aggregate score. So essentially, if the teams have 6 players, there's going to be what, like, I don't know. Somebody do the math for me.
6 times 6, isn't it? Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 36 games.
Each player
Yeah, so
plays
it's
a turn.
36 games.
Yeah,
and
but
then
it could be
you
done
still-
in 6 rounds if you just play simultaneously.
Yeah.
Correct,
that's-
correct.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be. Yeah, each game doesn't need to be played. So that's one option. Of course, we already have some of the other options that have been played, like King of the Hill and group chat. Did you guys have any other ideas for team match formats?
I haven't thought much about them. I thought like the group discussion format was interesting, but it's less a team tournament, but more like super individual tournament, I guess. Like you basically have a really good player versus a really good player instead of like a team versus a team, right? If you
With
get
some
what I'm saying.
feedback from the other players.
Yeah. No. I'm saying
No,
that
no. The aggregate knowledge of everybody together
it's basically
makes
like
a
a
super player,
good player, right?
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
so it's
As
just
opposed-
1v1, but it's super player versus super player. There's no like, I'm not sure how to say it. There's no like that team element, kind of, right? Isn't
It's groupthink is what
Yeah.
it is. I mean, but that doesn't always lead to the best solution, right?
Oh, of course
Because
not.
you have time constraints, and now we were up against the clock the whole time in that tournament.
I'm
And
not saying
we
it
made
does, but I
mistakes because
think,
of it.
but I mean, I think like the the success, I guess you could say, of both Granular Gaming and Vivid Esports on the ladder itself. Like, that's not saying much, but it's saying something, right? It's
Of
saying
course.
Oh
that
yeah.
a team together can play really, really, really well, right? Multiple people discussing, right? So,
Yeah, we catch each other's
But-
mistakes.
Yeah.
but
we, like,
none of
block
them-
correctly
none of
every
them-
time.
None of them are better than Llama.
yeah.
Llama by himself better than all teams.
Llama
Actually, I
is
think the player who's beat us most on our team account is Game King. Actually, he's
Really?
taken us down a few
Interesting.
times. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
oof.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember on our team account we were losing to, I don't remember who, but they beat us like 3 times.
Toothless?
Yeah.
Maybe? No.
It wasn't
actually
like someone you would consider a top 10 player, I don't think.
Yeah,
let's just
that
say
was it.
RNG. There we go.
Yeah, it was-
RNG.
It was like
Yeah.
Arca resigning to me on turn 1 in the Savior set last night. That's what it's like.
Yeah, or
Literally,
like the Blitz
was-
RNG games, we had Apooche, right? Just like
Oh, man,
lost to
those two in a
RNG
row.
2 turns in a row, right?
Yeah. At least it didn't go to the same player twice. That would have made
Yeah.
that set garbage.
That would have been
It just
like
balanced
horrible.
itself out.
Like I was actually kind of happy it went to you because like, oh,
Yeah.
you just got an RNG win, and I'm like,
'Cause
okay,
then
that's
your win
fine.
is
I got an
poisoned.
RNG win as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Legitimate winner.
How
right?
angry do you think we're making Elliot and Will right now talking about RNG wins and turn 1 resigns because situations are unbearable?
I think we're making Elliot mad, but I'm not sure if we're making Will mad.
I was like, whatever, these guys.
No, Will is probably just chilling, like I don't know, rock climbing with Timex or something.
Oh no, Will came into the chat and said hi. He might be
Oh,
here.
yeah.
oh, nice.
Yeah, he
I
was
will.
here.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah. I mean, that, like, those are sets where maybe if I looked at that set for a while, I could puzzle out a win, you know? But,
Seems
like,
like
it's Blitz. It's Blitz. You're not
would
going
think
to puzzle
that-
out a win against Wild Drone Ice Blade.
Okay.
That's also like Gauss
that's
Fabricator or
played.
something.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, if I tried to go Ice Blade or anything like that, you had just.
I
normal
also
points.
have like Gauss Cannons plus green support, which is just no way you can win, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you probably don't even have to go Ice Blades, you just did it because it was even better.
No,
against
I
what
went
was
Ice Blades because, yeah, you went Animus, right? I
Yeah.
wasn't planning on going Ice Blades otherwise, because
Yeah.
they're not as good as, I think, what was it, Gauss Fabricator or whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
actually surprised Rezo 4 got as close to beating, like, Savior as it did. But Polywall
Yeah,
of
that was-
POP, right?
Pretty impressive. Yeah, yeah, it was one of those situations where you had so many force fields that, and they're doing damage, and that's all there was. That clicking plasma fires is correct because they're only really 2 health
Yeah.
on defense.
Mhm.
So I just like that was all my attack, and it got there, I guess.
Yeah, no, it was. I think it was just like Polywall being enough
Yeah.
HP, right? If you had
Yeah.
like only Doomwall, you would have needed like 4 Blast Forges, like
Yeah.
on the turn Savior comes out, or before that even, to defend, right?
Wait, was this a Blitz game of
Yes.
Rezo versus Savior?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus. See, that's why I came in 6th and didn't get any farther because I can't play those games at all. In Blitz.
Yeah. I mean, all I know is that if you have blast forges, you can make polywalls, and no one will ever kill you if you have a savior.
Yeah.
And I can do that really fast.
It's really not hard. And then going Rezo 4 really isn't hard. TT
Yeah.
conduit, TT conduit. I actually didn't even notice, but I somehow got exactly 20 drones for 20 force fields. Like,
Yeah.
on my last drone, I ran out of force fields, and I was like, huh, oh, that's nice. I wasn't even planning on that.
Yeah.
And
but-
you still lost.
Yeah.
Right? You lost that game.
Yeah, of course. You can't
Sad
beat Savior.
face. Savior unbeatable.
Savior
So you can
Polywall
just
is
go
like
get best
insane.
once.
Which
No,
is-
well, I mean, essentially, I mean, this is kind of a conversation piece, so we can kind of move into it.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna
yeah.
say we
So-
can move into the meta now.
So, about Savior, am I right in assuming that if there's one efficient defender in the set, Savior just wins? So whatever that efficient defender is,
No,
Like,
it depends on
there's
the
energy-
rest of the set.
Savior is the second unit you mention after Amperilla in a lot of these talks about units that scale into the future. But I think Savior is second over Zamora, over Reservoir, over anything like that.
yeah. No, so what I'm trying to get at is, when you enter a set, what makes you,
Go
you know,
for Savior.
go for
Um,
Savior?
Polywall.
Well, okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about.
Well, you need
So
no double animus attackers usually, and then you
I've lost with
Yeah.
some
Lucina.
defense.
They had energy matrix.
I don't know if
and I
Lucina
lost
is good enough.
with Lucina.
Lucina's
Lucina-
kind of slow in a way because it like costs 17.
Yeah.
Right?
Lucina
it's efficient,
can
but
get
it's
there,
slow.
but it needs to be like Lucina and X, where X is also pretty
like
good.
Lucina can get there. Though it has to be versus no defense savior, like
The
wall
problem with
savior.
Lucina, the main problem with Lucina is that it's one of your turns, not 8 of your turns. And
True. So you can't scale it.
yeah, for
you can
you to
get
be
multiples.
savior,
Yeah.
for you to be a savior, you need to be doing something efficient on all your turns,
I mean,
like
Yeah.
buying a tattoo or a shadow fang.
do
not just-
multiple Lucinas beat multiple saviors?
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
would
just
think
ramps
so
too
as well.
fast. Multiple Lucinas is insane, especially if you can fuge into them.
Oh, that's the
Throw
best.
some Odins in there.
Oh, did you
We're talking
guys
about
know
legendary
that?
mode now.
Did you guys
Yeah.
know that Apollo counters savior? You just got 15 Apollos and you just snipe 15 drones per turn. Like,
Yes, but if you have 15 D grids, yeah, that's keeping up, right?
yeah, I still need to show that replay on stream, and I will
Yeah.
next stream
Yeah.
probably,
So
because that was an
definitely-
amazing game.
An insane game. The thing I learned from that game is that Apollos are stack better than defense grids.
Hey, but I just like didn't have to think about defense all game. I was like, well, I'm just buying 2 D grids
I
every
mean,
turn.
I did get to like 60 damage somehow just by buying like go
Yeah.
Tarsiers into Arca into double Arca into double Arca, and then I'm
Yeah.
like 60 damage. Okay, easy.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the actual game and
Yeah.
not legendary mode.
Uh,
What do you look
Legends
for in
mode.
a set? Like, are
See-
you looking for Fusion Grid, Energy Matrix?
Yeah,
Sure.
and you're looking for
Cannibal.
a lot of spoilers not to be there.
Yeah.
And what you're looking
I
for
think
is
that's
prompt
defensive player.
defense that has minimal tech investment. Like Polywall is much better than Aegis in this regard, because gold is about to just be everywhere, and tech buildings are scarce at first.
Yeah.
I mean, Aegis is still amazing, but like Polywall is the very best unit because of this. Doomwall is up there, and Fusion Grid even is great.
So if Infusion Grid's great, then Shredder's got to be good.
Yeah.
Shredder's pretty
It's-
good, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's-
Infusion Grid provides you absorb in the early game. I think
Yeah.
one issue people have with Savior is they go for the big absorb unit, and as the Savior player, you're actually too far behind to do that. You can't go for it until after your Savior arrives, and I've seen a lot of people lose to Savior trying to get Centurion, or trying to get, like you get an Energy Matrix, of course, but trying to get Centurion, Omega Splitter, things like that, it's just a pipe dream, and you're not
Yeah,
going to do it.
You probably need a chrono filter or something to get Centurion out.
Yeah,
Or maybe
but if you
like
can just like make
automatic
infusion
impulses, but-
grids, if it's just like a set where they can't do anything to you, sure, go Centurion. But
Yeah.
like, come on.
No,
But-
but
Yeah.
you also look for no good pressure ramp units like Frostbrooder or like Nivo kind of. Those can crush you, because if you have to like
Yeah.
lose 10 drones in one turn or something, that
Yeah, then it
then
hurts.
after that you're kind of not in a good spot, let's say.
If they can wipe you for a bunch of your stuff, like half your drones, the turn before Savior arrives, you're not doing that much better.
Yeah, it's I mean,
Yeah.
you basically stay on equal drones, but now you have a savior, which is not probably not enough to beat what your opponent has built messed up to that point, right?
Yeah.
So what are the key units that are making you shy away? Are you looking at Frostbites and Nevos and
Like
Cryo
Nivos,
Rays?
Frostbrooder, really efficient
Shadow
attackers
Fang.
like Shadow Fang, Tatsu,
Even things like
Sinestra?
Electrovore can be really good.
Vor
Yeah.
Grimbotch together, for example, is like one
Grimbotch?
of the yeah.
Grimbotch not as
that
much.
great
No,
'cause
Grimbotch
it
isn't that great
dies.
versus Savior, but just
Kinetic Driver can be gross because they can just
Yeah.
like quad snipe you the turn Savior arrives, and it's like such a joke. What do you do?
no, the
You
turn
have to,
before
like,
Savior
buy-
arrives, right?
Yeah, just like whichever turn you don't have all of them yellow, you get sniped.
And it's just
Um,
yeah.
And it was pretty good pressure at the time.
But
Things
yeah,
that allow you to trade resources efficiently, like kinetic driver, as you're saying, because you trade your gold for
Yep.
for their tech, or
Drake.
like Drake and Grenade Mech, because it's just their pressure units. You can buy a blast forge, and then that blast forge just makes them defend more. So that's less money they can spend on drones.
Yeah.
And they're behind because they spent 9 gold.
On
That's not
nothing.
creating
Yeah.
interest for 8 turns. So
Yeah.
Yep.
it's really hard to defend when there's those kinds of units.
Yeah, like Vi is probably also pretty good, but by
It
itself,
can be, but it's
not
again
enough.
one turn.
Yeah.
It's like if all there is Vi, it doesn't shut down things like Infusion Grid, but it can be great. It can shut down if you have a bunch of other good stuff with it. You know, it shuts
Yeah.
down Centurion. That you get out the turn Savior Rise, and then you can't come back even though you have Savior.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It's yeah, I don't know. Stuff like that really. But yeah, talking about Grenade Mech as well, like people probably like you guys like the change to 3 damage from a Blast Forge, right? To 3 pixies from a Blast Forge.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Change to 3 damage.
No, like no, I mean
Yeah.
like the
Oh, you
change
mean
that
from
has
2?
been made to Grenade Mech, like the most recent change to Grenade Mech.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I thought the old Grenade Mech was also interesting. But it's I think it's fine, and I think people are getting better at playing with it, but it could be made weaker and still be a strong unit.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I like it when it's not the only thing in the set, right? When it's like,
When it's the thing that the rest of the set isn't synergizing with.
yeah, basically.
When there isn't
like,
Thermite Core.
yeah, when there isn't Thermite Core and there isn't like Aurorite Core, stuff like that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the thing about Grenade Mech is that it's pretty efficient, and in addition to that, it kind of prevents your opponent from doing anything efficient.
Mhm.
You can't, like, you obviously can't go double animus against that. It's hard to even go red against it. And
Yeah.
so, what you're left with is Grenade Mech. To counter Grenade Mech a lot of the time.
Yeah, but it can get annoying when that happens, but a lot of times the first player getting Grenade Mech was wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you don't want to rush it too fast, but
So I think when it's played correctly, you just end up kind of going big and going around it, and then both players are protected against it, and you don't end up buying it, and you go into other stuff. And then you get Grenade Mechs later in the game because it's really good in endgame positions.
well, yeah.
It is really good in in-game situations, but you have to be able to afford the blue.
Yeah,
without
like double
buying walls.
blue
Yep.
instead of going defense. I just need an
Yep.
Aegis set, right? You can go Aegis.
Yeah.
Mech.
Yeah, that's always great. Or just like sets where there's just a lot of fuck it buttons. We're gonna just do this instead. It's time
Yeah.
to kill you.
Nope. Let's just press
Yeah.
everything we can press. All the plasma
Yep.
fires that I have from Savior, all 8 of
Yeah.
them, right? No, I don't know. I enjoy the unit a lot. If it's not like the only strategy in the set, because if it is, then it just like if it's in a set with Thermite Core, I'm just like, oh my god, not this game again, and it's just,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. They also like tend to be really drawn out. The Grenade
Yes.
Mech games, right?
Well, yeah, because you're playing a game where each player has like 2 or 3 damage, and they're just trading resources. They're trading blast forges for walls,
Yeah.
so you're not
Yep.
really making progress.
Yeah.
Like
And
long-term
there's tons
progress.
of
You're
life
just,
each of these things.
you're just buying the supplies out of things that trade evenly.
Yeah, and it's just that's the thing I dislike about it. But otherwise, like I think it's a pretty good change. I don't know. I think
Would you-
it needed a change. Let's say it like that. I don't think it needed a buff, but I think it needed a change to how as to how it was before. But
Yeah.
because before it was just so. Should I say bland? It wasn't great almost
Yeah.
ever, but it was like okay. But it really didn't differentiate itself from like Drake, right?
Its click made sense at the time when you are supposed to be buying the unit anyways, so I kind of liked that design in that
Yeah.
you'd never buy it early game, but it was amazing late game, and then late game you're going to not have drones anymore, so you click it because your blast forges are useless.
Yeah, and also
Now
the
you just click it because it's value.
yeah, that's true. It's kind of like mindless playstyle, really, because like always click it, basically, almost always click it, right? It's like 98% of the time you will click Grenade Mech.
The decision not to click can be important. Sometimes you're going to lose a bunch of drones if you click
Yeah.
errantly.
But generally, it's very mindless. Let's say it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So maybe like that's like not a good quality for a unit to have.
I mean, it would be great if you could click and sacrifice a Blast Forge for 2.5 pixies. That'd be really balanced.
Yeah, but how
Yeah.
to make 2.5?
So-
Oh, what do you think about this? Like, click a pixie. I mean, click grenade mag, gain 1 gold, and create 2 pixies. What do you think about that? Like 1 gold, kind of like
Interesting.
half.
Yeah, that
half
would be
a damage.
balanced. It just would be kind of awkward.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's-
you're
Yeah.
essentially selling your blast forge for
You would be
$1 and
trading
2 pixies.
resources strangely.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're selling a blast forge for a gold this turn, or I guess maybe you could balance it gold next turn and 2
Oh,
pixies
come
next
on.
turn.
That's like
I think
really
That's
it's
even
weird.
harder though. I mean, it's probably harder to implement or
Yeah.
like it'd be
You'd want it to
confusing
be
maybe,
this turn.
but you know, like that's.
I mean,
2.5
they already
damage.
have click to gain gold this turn in
Yeah.
the game. Click to gain gold next turn feels weird.
Yeah.
Oh, Kale brings up a good suggestion. Click for 2 pixies and 1 pixie with build time too.
Ooh, yeah,
That'd be pretty.
that would be interesting. You would still probably honestly click it most of the time, right? But that,
It becomes a
Yeah.
question of how good is blue.
yeah, definitely.
Next turn.
Elliot has a good suggestion. We could do click pay 1 for 3 pixies. So pay a gold to get 3 if we think it's not balanced.
Yeah, that's also a good suggestion. I think those are better versions of the current grenade mech.
And I do agree that like it maybe needs a slight rebalancing, right? Because it's in a
Yeah.
very strong spot right now, and if a unit almost by itself can create like a completely different game state, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
just strong. It's because it's not like the most efficient unit. It's
No.
oppressive. It denies
Yeah.
other strategies
Yeah.
from being viable.
Exactly,
So
if
which
you-
is why you don't want it to be too strong, right?
Yeah.
If you buy it when your opponent has a bigger economy, enough absorb to stop your damage, and efficient defenders in this set, you kind of just lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
there
mean,
are
there
at
are
least times when it's wrong.
Yeah, it's definitely true. It's just again, yeah, I agree. It's an oppressive unit, right? So you don't
So-
want it to be too strong.
If you were to compare this and the rework of Drake, what's the stronger unit?
I think the stronger unit is Grenade Mech right now, but I kind of
Drake's
I don't know.
more expensive, and it
Depends
also
heavily on
consumes
what
blast
kind of
forge.
game.
Yeah, it
Oh,
also
what stronger ones is on the board? I would say usually Drake.
on the
Because
Does
board.
it's
two
constant
damage.
damage.
I think in most cases Drake is slightly stronger. But the problem with Drake is that you can only buy. I mean, usually 2 of them. You're usually on like 2
Yeah.
blast forges, maybe 3.
As many as you have forges.
Yeah.
But grenade mechs that you buy that aren't going to get value out of their click are like, they'll be
not-
okay in the mid game. Usually not very good.
Yeah. No. Like you should. You generally only get Grenade Mechs if you can actually click them, right? I mean, unless you're buying steel splitters otherwise.
In a set with both units, I think it's correct to get both.
Yeah, I agree. Like one of the coolest strategies is like getting two Drakes, 2 Grenade Mechs, and constantly cycling 2 forges. I mean, obviously that's
Yep.
almost like a pipe dream because it's when are you actually gonna have time to get all of that, and why
I've
hasn't
done
your
the
opponent conceded
one-in-one
yet?
version plenty of times.
Yeah. No, the 1-in-1 version is completely fine as well.
That's kind of interesting. I think it actually loses a bit of its efficiency because you can gambit for exact against that pretty easily. Because if your opponent has to pop
Depends
Drakes,
on your
then
absorber.
they effectively lose 2 damage. So
Yeah, that's interesting.
You
That's
can
actually
gambit for
really
exact if
interesting.
you're absorbing on wall, but
Yeah.
you can't gambit for exact if you're absorbing on energy matrix or
Or
a
Centurion,
natural,
yeah.
a real unit.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it's still like they still have to defend for quite a bit more just for the Drake threat, right? Which is nice. So
Yep.
I don't know. I think it's one of those like super fun unit combos to get, but maybe most times not really realistic to get.
Most times it's just the grenade mech.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would do this in a game where you've probably already bought other units.
Yeah.
But like maybe Windsor and Drake or something, or Windsor or just other big things, but like in a Centurion game. But
Yeah.
in a game where you just
speaking
retro
of our
grenade mech
next
forges.
unit,
Yeah, Windsor. Hey.
since you brought it up so neatly,
I know, right?
Yeah.
Just like rolling so easily. No, but Windsor, I like the unit. I really like the unit, but did it really need the
Yeah.
recent buff?
I think in retrospect, we're finding that it probably didn't.
Yeah.
But that probably means that
People
we're
have-
within half a gold of perfectly balanced Winston. Right?
Exactly.
Really?
Well, I mean,
I
Or
think
maybe-
at 9, I think the reason we think that, or like the reason why it wasn't used as much before was that people were worse at it. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting to see because, like, I mean, okay, this is like a year old or whatever, but there used to be like Centurion that cost 16 green, blue, and 2 red, right? And then people kind of found out, okay, now that's pretty insane, and then it got nerfed, right? The same kind of thing kind of happened with Windsor after it got nerfed like repeatedly twice or whatever. People didn't really play it very often, and then it got buffed again, and people started going for it, and now like it's, oh my god, this unit is absolutely insane, right?
So I also think that some of the other unit balances have created more combo options. So, for
Yeah.
example, the change to Grenade Mech and the change to Drake to double blue has given Windsor more combos than it had in the past, making it, also better because there's more chance that you're going to run into units that will support Windsor properly, and it's already a better value now.
Also, like, I'm not sure if this is even like relevant at all, but E-Matrix wasn't good against Windsor, it was good with Windsor, but stuff like Chieftain was still kind of good versus Windsor, because you just like hold it versus Windsor like a turn early, and if they have to hold Windsor for 2 turns for you to not get Chieftain value, you're
They lose
probably
a little
okay
value.
anyways, right?
Yeah.
And that getting nerfed, like, it also slightly buffed it, I guess, because now you have one less efficient defensive option. It doesn't seem very relevant, but it probably happens every now and then, and it's still like just like maybe that one game in like 25 or 30 that it matters, right?
Yeah.
Well, do we agree that like defense has become less important in the new meta because of
Yeah.
breach proof? Well, I mean, the
It's-
game's changing, right? So
It's
Yeah.
been a combination of breach-proof units getting buffed and defensive units getting nerfed.
Exactly.
it's
Definitely.
a trend towards faster games, perhaps.
Not faster games, but
Games that devolve faster, I should say, or
Ah.
that fall apart faster.
it's interesting because it doesn't really work like that with breach proof, right?
I'm not talking about turns. I'm not talking about number of turns. I'm talking about
No.
turns to breach.
Yeah, I guess if you look at it that way, sure. But
In the past, turns to breach was the determining factor in how long a game went. That's not
I would say-
necessarily the
Kind of.
case.
Turns to kill economy in breach proof
yeah,
is usually when it happens, because once you've killed each other's economy and you have this big stack of attackers, you can see whose stack is bigger.
kind of, yeah.
Especially when it's all Gauss cannons.
Yeah, but if it's like super huge, it's actually super hard to tell because like the first attack is so much more important, right?
Yeah, but not anything compared to, not like normal Prismata.
Yeah,
First
it's-
attack is a little bit important.
Sure, like you're not killing 10 Tarsers, but you know,
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah,
killing
if you have a
5
big
Gauss
attack-
cannons, it's
I mean,
still
5 is a lot, but
Yeah.
usually you're killing 3 at most.
But you have like 10 ISOs, that's 20 damage. You also have like 5 Gauss cannons, that's 25 damage.
Every other
Yeah, it
turn.
happens.
So since we're kind of talking about breach proof, what I personally am looking for normally combos in the form of 3 before I go into breach proof. In other words, I'm looking for 3 breach proof units in a set before I think it's like the only choice. What
Yeah.
do you guys? Is 3 the magic number?
No, I look for
No.
it specifically to be countering things that could stop it. Like, if there's a big absorber, there should also be, a freeze or burst or something. If there's, if there's a lot of defense, there needs to be a lot of attack. But if there's aggressive things, there needs to be burst coming from the breach-proof player.
So in the form of, you're always looking for a good breach-proof drone, though, right? You're always looking for.
Not always. You
Not
don't
always.
But
always need
usually.
it.
Sometimes drones are just breach-proof enough.
Yeah, sometimes you just rush
Yeah.
Gauss Fab, right, Llama?
Yeah, true.
Like in a
Like
set
with
where neither
Nevo.
player is going to be able to defend, if Nevo and Cryo are there,
Yeah.
and Cluster Bolt or whatever, you're just not going to defend, and you shouldn't try, and you
Yeah,
just need to
cluster
get
Niveau Gauss charge. I mean Gauss
yeah.
Well,
fabricator. Roche
but
Gauss
again,
fabricator
you're
win
looking
game.
you're looking at three. Well, again, you're looking at a combo of three different green units
Yeah,
or three
no,
different
but
breach-proof units.
that's assuming that there is no like breach-proof drone,
Yeah,
right?
I'm saying this is what it takes to not need a
Yeah.
breach-proof
But
drone,
if
but
if like,
it happens.
there is like recently I've been so kind of annoyed at breach-proof that I've thought that maybe if there's no extra defense in the set and there's only Dynamo, you could probably pull off breach-proof Dynamo with only Gauss cannons as your like other breach-proof attacker.
Base plus Dynamo, I'm pretty sure you play breach-proof,
Yeah.
at least for a significant portion of the game. You don't go
Yeah.
red.
No, definitely. That's the thing, right? Dynamo is actually like insane, and it in the set, like with any breach-proof unit combo, it probably means that it's breach-proof, unless it's like some stupidly efficient combo of defense and huge absorb, like
Yeah.
Centurion, Aegis, Polywall, and
Yeah.
Blood Pact, right? Then
Yeah.
maybe Thorium and ISO don't win, maybe, right?
If there's a good attacker too.
Yeah. Oh, and Shadowfang, yeah.
How many things do we need to make this work, huh?
But
So there are, I mean, since we're talking about breach proof, there's two other changes that come to mind. One is to Trinity Drone. What do you guys think of the no energy cost change? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I think it's kind of. I was like one of the people against it, but I think it's kind of fine and not as overpowered as Dynamo. And like
Yeah, I
it's
kind
very.
of like it.
It's different from Dynamo. It's just a way to breach-proof your drones. I wouldn't mind seeing it just go to like, not even an economic thing, but something that sacks 3 drones and costs not very much to just turn them all breach-proof. Even more. I don't know.
The other
But-
one, of course, is Venge Cannon.
oh, that that's all I can say about that change. Just
The Venge Cannon change, you feel that strongly about it that
I
you can't
really
even talk
don't
about it?
like it. It reminds me of like the super old Venge Cannon when it cost like 3 and 2 green, and
No.
all everybody did every game was build conduits, build Venges.
That one
And-
was different.
That one was stronger. It was.
This one, you are guaranteed to have extra gold and not necessarily something to spend it on.
No.
Whereas that one, it took less green and you were guaranteed to have the gold you needed because you sacked as many drones as you paid
Yeah,
gold.
no, I mean that one was way stronger. I admit
Yeah.
that, like definitely, but it brings it back, right? It wasn't fun doing the same thing in like almost any set with the unit in it, right? And
Yeah, but it's not like that anymore.
it's not exactly like that, but very often you just go Venge Cannon, okay, that's fun,
Oh, yeah.
and you play it the same way every single time. And it happens often enough that I really don't like it. It's just
Yeah, it's
I-
a lot of the dinky little enablers that make it happen though, like Cryo
Yeah.
Ray. Like Cryo Ray, I feel like was more balanced when it had infinite freeze than it is now because of how often it enables breach proof to beat anything else.
it's so, I don't know, like the way breachproof has come out like to be so strong in the recent patch, like the recent patches, the recent month or whatever, like with all of
Yeah.
the changes making it stronger. Like I think every single change that has happened for the past couple of months has made breachproof stronger as a
But we-
strategy.
Well, keep in mind that Lunark promised that, right? Because we were complaining about
That there
how
wasn't enough
there's no
breach-proof.
alternate
yeah.
options. There's
No, definitely. I'm not
Well,
saying
it's not
like
the same
It
people
was a
complaining
response.
necessarily.
Yeah.
yeah, it's also not the same people complaining.
I like breach proof, and
I do
I think
too.
most of the units shouldn't be nerfed very heavily at all.
Oh,
but- A few little pokes here and there.
agree.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily dislike the breachproof strategy. I don't like that it's so common.
Yeah, they just need to like not add new breach proof units for a while.
Pretty much.
Just
But,
they
like,
need to dilute the pool with some
Okay,
stuff that
so-
isn't breach proof.
like 2 things I would like. Dynamo HP maybe nerf a little, like maybe HP.
No.
What? 8
No,
HP
I'm not-
Dynamo, for example,
No.
I think would be completely fine.
I don't
maybe
like
even
that
9
at all.
HP Dynamo, just like a small nerf because it's one of the it's an insane breach-proof enabler.
Yeah.
And I think a Venge nerf to 2 gold would be completely reasonable. Maybe if you need it, you can buff the click ability, like change it back to how it was before.
2 gold and how it was before.
Yeah.
I'd kind of like that.
Maybe like that, I would be okay
Yeah, that
with.
seems good.
I'm fine with how it is now, though. Honestly.
I really like the old Venge, just getting a value Venge and then clicking it every turn.
Yeah,
It's
that's
kind of
Yeah.
That's gone. That's
The
definitely
Yeah,
old
it's
Venge was
gone.
like one of the things that too many people complained about, and was a fine unit. But I mean, it's good now, and it's fine for Venge to be a good unit. I like it when some units are okay some of the time, but too many people complain.
yeah. No, it's. I feel that it's too strong, and maybe it's just because that like all of the breach-proof is strong right now. But basically, I'm feeling oppressed by breach-proof because whenever I see 2 breach-proof units, it's always breach-proof. There is no option to not go for it, right? Sometimes you can decide to not go high econ, right? In a set, maybe no, I have these pressure units and I can decide to not go high econ while the other
Yeah.
player has E matrix or whatever, right? With breach-proof, there is no option to not go breach-proof because you just lose, right? Unless you have like a combo of 6 units to beat it, which is, and it's annoying because there's so many different breach-proof combos that are just strong enough. I like breach-proof, but I
Yeah.
don't like when it's the strategy to go for it and like half the sets or like a fourth
It's
of the
not that
sets.
bad.
So
It's
Crash.
not
we're
that
we're
bad.
kind of running into an issue where if there's like this fundamental issue with Prismata of if 6 of the units contribute to one strategy in a set, there is no other strategy because that's 6 of
Correct.
the units.
Yeah,
So like, and not units having a one huge synergy that can get just amplified by there being more and more of them in a set can just be insane. And right now it's breach proof that's feeling this, and
yeah.
In the
playing
past, it
bigger
was
sets
like
often.
freeze
and,
red.
Oh yeah,
Back in the
and
day, it was
there's-
freeze red. That was
Or just like
that
red
had
green
the same
a lot.
problem.
Yeah,
red green.
And
At some point there was,
there's
like,
been
Big
times, yeah, Big Blue, in the day after the patch where they introduced Odin and,
and Apollo, right? Yeah.
That
It was just
that
like-
patch you went blue every time, and like synthesizer was there if you needed it, and it was
Yeah,
just
no,
insane.
it's just again like I don't dislike breach proof as a strategy. I like it. I loved it when I first figured out how to actually do it. The
Yeah.
only complaint I have that is that it's too common right now, and
Yeah,
instead of like maybe waiting like a month and slowly introducing new units, the way to maybe like band-aid fix it is to slightly nerf I think two of the like Thorium Dynamo, a huge enabler, and Venge I think is in a very strong spot right now, which I wouldn't mind a small
You think
nerf to.
you think it's stronger? You think it's stronger than like Tantalum Ray?
Oh, definitely.
Tantalum Ray I think is fine. It's very efficient as an attacker in normal sets, but it's not like the most insane breach proof unit.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. It's not a great
like,
breach proof.
Stuff like Cryo-Ray and Endotherm, or not Endotherm, Nivo Charge, right, are also good when it's not breach proof versus breach proof, when it's just a
Yeah.
normal game, while Venge is like amazing in breach proof, but kind of good in non-breach proof games, right?
I would like to
Yeah.
see Venge click going back to 3.
Mm-hmm.
It also helps differentiate it from Clusterable and make there be situations where you would click Venge.
Yeah, say you have 6
In a
green,
cluster
So-
game.
right?
So, would you guys be opposed to the click value being less? So instead of 3 charges, you get 2.
No, there's no reason to do that. I think like 3
For a
charges
cheaper
for
cost.
3 green, like the way it was before, is completely fine, as long as it also gets nerfed to like 2 gold, right? To buy it.
Well,
And
no,
then-
you're just nerfing it back to exactly where it was.
Yeah,
No.
you're just asking for the same, the old
I
unit
think
tag.
No,
the
no,
one.
it's still slightly better, right? Because
you mean to
gold.
cost 2 gold? I
Yeah,
thought we
to
meant.
cost
I
2
thought you meant add 2 gold. To
No,
its
no, no.
cost.
To cost to go. Like if they wanted to buff it, I think that was a better direction to take it than 1 gold, 3 green, and then like nerf the click ability, which was I think a very interesting part of the unit, where you could get 1 Venge just to use your green up, right? If you are
Yeah.
producing too much of it. While now it's like Go all
You
in
have
Venge.
best-
Don't go all in Venge.
Yeah.
Decisions, right?
It's not as flexible a unit anymore, you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and clicking it still isn't crazy on that ability in Breachproof because of the fact that exhaust is targetable. And if you're Breachproof, the click isn't that crazy. And I think the direction they took with Tantalum Ray and Asteri Cannon of designing units that can be Breachproof or non-Breachproof
Yeah.
so that they can help the other strategy win against Breachproof is great. And I like Venge being a part of that club too.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. But basically, that's what I'm saying. I don't like. Again, I don't hate Breachproof. I hate how popular or how common it is.
Yeah, I think eventually, Lunark will have to learn to introduce new units in like multiple strategies at once. Not overdo a color or a single strategy unless they want to, unless
Yeah.
they're trying to change the meta. But they'll have to learn like how much you have to add to make the probability of sets that are just go breachproof too common, or just go whatever strategy it is.
The more units get added, the more units they're going to have to add to change it, right?
Yep.
So it's gonna start snowballing where
Yeah.
they're gonna start adding 10 units per week, right? Just to keep
Or,
up.
well,
Not per
no, I
week.
mean, the other solution is not to release in groupings, right? Just release one unit
One
every
unit
other
at a time.
week,
That
and
could also work.
that works.
You
and
you
then
could
that
go
Yeah.
for or
that
you-
way you can see in a 2-week time frame. Okay, how did this adjust the way people play?
Interesting.
And
because
then release
Sometimes
a
you want to
unit
make a
that
lot of hype at
counters.
once, though.
yeah, no,
Of
but
course, of
the
course.
the complete other direction you could take it is that you release like actually like 10 units or whatever every like 2 or 3 months and completely shake the meta, right? So
Yeah.
that the game keeps
two quarters. So every
Like a sick new
quarter.
backliner,
yeah,
an econ
or,
unit,
or like
some like
so
random turtle
basically
unit.
and the game will constantly keep feeling fresh, right? If you do that, because like if you introduce one unit, it doesn't change that much, right? It's one unit, you figure it out in like a couple of weeks or like couple of days, depending on how complex it is.
Yeah.
And
Some
Yeah,
units,
it's-
some legendaries, I think, can be released on their
Oh.
own. Like I think Zamora was.
oh no,
that
definitely.
was
But
fun.
if you introduce like Borehole Patroller, it doesn't take that long to like figure the unit out, right?
I think
So-
Flood Pact was introduced alone, and that was kind of random
Yeah.
and bad.
Keep in mind though, if you're dumping 10 units at a time, you're going to need a much bigger internal testing of that, because 10 units at a time will make a drastic change to the game.
Sure,
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Usually
you would
it would
have
be.
to have
But
more
I mean, like
infrastructure
the
in
thing
place
is, if
to
you
do
want the players to like constantly enjoy playing the game, you don't want it to become stale, right? And
Yeah.
one unit every couple of weeks maybe doesn't do enough. It doesn't like change thing. It does constantly change things slightly, but it doesn't like the player doesn't feel like there's any big change been made, right? It's
Yeah.
like very small change. You don't really notice it. Well, if they did that, the game becomes so much different, right? And
Yeah.
you know,
It
just
eventually
feels fresh.
becomes inaccessibly large, though.
Yeah.
If there's too many units, you can't get new players.
Definitely.
So-
Which I wonder what they're gonna do with. Like, League of Legends used to pump out like a unit every, I don't know. I mean,
They
a
can keep
champion
their
every couple of weeks, and now
Yeah.
they've made like 3
It's
in
like
a
two,
year.
to a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing that they can do is they can retain their entire library, but do subsets, right? They can always move to a subset, and that's a great way to change the meta. So if they want a season to be a breach-proof season, they can always make those adjustments. So they have a lot of room for play. They don't have to.
Definitely, they can do like what MTG does, where like
Exactly.
it's a standard format where only these cards
Yeah.
are allowed and stuff like that. That'd be interesting, but that might also confuse new players, right? Because like, oh,
You would have to not do it very often.
yeah, exactly. And then like, who decides which units? I mean, like, yeah, who decides which units stay, right? Because people might not like some of the units, or maybe really love some of the units that don't get into the format, right? I
Yeah.
think it's
Well, again, you can have all units available for casual play. You can
Casual,
make these
yeah.
adjustments just for ladder.
or just
right.
for tournaments. Maybe that's
Yeah.
possibly an even better solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, so competitive play only faces these restrictions, whereas all normal play and ranked play have access to all units all the time.
I don't think I
You might
really
want ranked to be like a subset, but
Yeah.
again, it's just like more. I don't know. It's more elegant to just have less units.
I don't
What were
really
you
like
gonna
having a subset for tournaments. I mean, I like it for ladder, but I think the tournament should have like a larger set, or even just the entire set of units available, because that should be like the top level of
At least the
players,
world
or-
champion should be like that.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You could have
Maybe-
smaller random interstitial tournaments that are just or side events. You know, the breach-proof side event. Play
Who is
with
the
only
best
breach-proof
breach-proof
units enabled.
Yeah, true. You can do that.
Only,
Ico's
the
back
most
in the game,
efficient unit,
so-
only the most efficient attackers set, where nobody will be able to get out Shadow Fangs because
Yeah.
everybody's
Everything's too
got so.
efficient.
Yeah. But yeah, I think
Or just like a mono red tournament. I want it.
that
Just like
actually-
only units that cost red or energy. Like Doom Drone, sure. Vivid Drone, sure. And like you
know
still have
what?
access to
oh
walls.
no,
you know?
Vivid Drone, no, no.
I mean,
please no.
I mean, a lot of red rushes should just like push Vivid Drone out anyways if there's no beams
Yeah,
over.
I had actually some success going Drone Animus as player 2
Just
in a
versus
red
Vivid.
set. Just just against Vivid, just like whatever.
Yeah.
Who needs
I
Vivid?
don't need Vivids.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's you have more drones, but you end up with like one less engineer, but a little bit more gold than if you go drone engineer into Vivid Animus, right?
mhm,
You have like gold compensation, but less engineers.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's yeah. I think that's about it, right? I guess we can touch upon like what the community stuff that's been like. I guess like the biggest thing that has been is the armory fair. Is it fun? The way you play it, like the whole Black Lab stuff. Has been like
Things could be tweaked. I think it's weird that the Black Lab values shards so much that you shouldn't spend shards trying to get into the Black Lab.
yeah, that is kind of weird, right?
Yeah, I think that can make it feel like you have a huge pile of shards that you can't spend remotely efficiently because you will eventually get in the Black Lab, and you'll eventually have pretty good outs to get, you know, a prize. And you'll want to flip again in those positions multiple times. You'll just keep flipping until it hits. And that's what you should do when you get those positions.
Yeah.
Because the same cost every time. So having 20,000 shards banked, like you should actually just keep them banked until you get into the Black Lab, and you shouldn't spend shards trying to get into the Black Lab. It's just kind of frustrating to me.
It definitely is. Like, I am personally probably in the minority where like I actually do not care at all how they price anything. If they're making money, I'm happy because I want the game to be a success, but other than that, I am completely fine with any price because either I get the skin or I don't, I'm fine either way, right? I don't need the skin. If I get it, I'm happy. Like, it's whatever.
Yeah. I think they want to get people in the Black Lab spending their shards, though. Like, people like me, you know, I will run out of shards eventually from all this, like, Luminary and
Yeah.
supporting on Kickstarter and winning the POC and all that. Or not
3
winning
years.
it, but
In
getting
3
in
years,
top
man.
6. But eventually those shards will be gone. It'll probably only take a few Black Lab visits, really, to go through them. But I will not buy new shards until that happens.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. It would be nice for shards to more efficiently get you into the Black Lab.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
So,
there.
Crash, you made a statement earlier that's a complete lie. You don't care how things are priced. Your stream and your YouTube video after the fact shows that you do care quite a bit about it.
No, see, I'm just a very salty person. I just I get very mad at RNG because it's
So you play
RNG.
Prismata.
Yeah, so I can blame RNG, right, for when I losses. But no, it's just like I actually do not care if they took all my skins away and they told me I can only get them if I pay. I would just be like, okay, sure, I'm just gonna play without skins, right? I wouldn't be affected by it. I'd be kind of sad that I can't like emote long nose anymore, but it wouldn't change my enjoyment of the game whatsoever like it wouldn't impact how I think about Prismata in any way whatsoever, right? It's still a
Yeah,
game I
well-
really enjoy playing. I guess I'm super in the minority here because like I've never spent or felt the need to spend any money on like free-to-play games. They're free to play. Like I'm free to play them.
Yep.
Why
Wait,
would I
wait.
spend money?
Did
right?
you
Yep.
did you never spend money for League? You never bought a champion?
No, I mean no, I never use money. The only time I used money for League
You
was
didn't
because
use
I
it for runes,
no.
like rune pages or whatever.
No.
You've never spent money in League.
No, I only spent money to change my server, because I wanted
It's
like
the only way to do it.
yeah, and I wanted to be like super competitive, and the server I was on wasn't considered super competitive. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try changing my server and like getting to the top there, and I had to pay, so I paid like whatever the amount was, and there was like a special discount at that point if you like spend slightly more than I wanted to spend. I was like, okay, fuck it, do this, and so I got like one skin off of that as well. But no, I never spent money like deliberately.
Yeah.
Neither
Well-
have I spent it on Hearthstone. So I guess like
Yeah.
I'm super in the minority here, but
Well, regardless of like how much you really want the skins, I think that you can still provide feedback as to how the system could be improved. One thing I have about the Black Lab is it does feel really bad to be working up to this big goal where you get your biggest payout and you have a pretty decent chance of just walking away with absolutely nothing. Especially if you don't have
unless you
shards.
keep flipping. Any flip
Yeah,
again
unless you keep
position, you keep flipping until you get the thing you're flipping for.
Yeah.
If it was correct to
Except
flip, it becomes more and more correct because they don't raise the price.
yeah.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, guys. So a single flip in the Black Lab is what, just shy of 800, right? 799.
yeah, so
I think
much.
it's $5. I think.
Yeah, no, it's not because $5 is only 650 shards.
If you
So
get
Yeah,
it
it's
in bulk-
like
if you get it in bulk,
$6 or
it's like $5.
Yeah.
Correct. If
Yeah,
you get it in
yeah.
bulk, it's $5. But are you?
I
gonna
mean, if
pay
you got it on
$7?
Kickstarter, it's less than $5.
Correct.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
you
so
got
that
it
was
by
better.
qualifying for Worlds, it's $0.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is true.
If you got it by being one of the best, it is dirt cheap.
But
So I actually, this kind of brings up a business choice because you can still be a supporter and the shop is live. Why would you ever buy shards? Why wouldn't you just become a supporter?
Because you want to help them test out their real money system before it takes huge volume of income, and that is pretty important.
So
to them.
you're just being a good Samaritan.
Yeah, yeah. Because like they don't like the support money. You could give them money in either way, and yes, you get more shards one way, but you're actually helping them more by testing the
So then
shop
maybe-
out at this point. I think
So maybe they
because
should
that could have
reduce-
bugs too, and we're alpha testers. We should be looking
Well-
for bugs in it if we're going to give them
Well,
money.
then the value should be comparable to supporters so that people don't go to supporter instead, right?
Yeah, or they could turn
While
off
it's in testing.
the shard rewards in supporter. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
maybe.
like it's a decision that they should probably be addressing. You know, if they're going to leave both options open, it should be closer in value, so that people are actually incentivized to use the shop versus using supporter.
Yeah, I could see them doing sales that make it very clear that it is on sale right now,
Yeah.
compared to what it will eventually be. But I wouldn't say like change the number and then change it again,
Yeah.
because it could be seen as like waffling and flip flopping, and no one will be
Oh
sure.
no! Of course. I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying that it's weird to have supporter tiers still available when there's a shop, right?
Yeah,
so like
So-
one thing that is intriguing to me, I should say, because like I don't put any value on skins, right? I don't. Like I like
really?
a
Do you
skin
equip
or-
them? Don't.
No.
Yeah, he
I mean,
equips
like,
all of them.
I mean, like, it's. I like skins, I like some more than others, but I'm not gonna be like, okay, I'll pay this much for one, and I won't pay this much for one.
You
I
pay the
just
time
wouldn't
that
pay
it takes
any-
to play the flip game, right?
No, I just wouldn't pay any money for cosmetics. Like, that's the type of person I
Time
am.
cost.
All right.
So,
I mean, yes, you do open the cores. It takes time.
yeah,
Yeah.
but opening
You
cores
could
is
just be
fun.
playing Prismata.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah,
opening cores
exactly.
is fun. It's nice.
Crash,
seeing
you're
the
just
flips.
being a hypocrite
Oh
right
my
now.
god! Anyways,
We're just
You're
gonna
being
twist
such a
everything you say.
anyways,
We're
like,
not going to let this go.
how much would you say pay for just like straight up pay for, say, a prismatic skin or like just a high tier skin, right? What is something you would
What's
be?
the real number that you would pay?
Yeah,
Well, you have to pay at least $5 for it if you're out of shards, right?
yeah, no,
So
but like I'm interested because like how much do you value this skin, right? Would you pay $2 for it? Would you pay like $4 for it? Would you pay like $10 for it, right?
Well,
Because that's very interesting because like in League, for example, some skins are like what $30 or something.
Yeah,
And,
for
like,
the
20?
at least 20.
Yeah, like whatever it is, it's like
but keep in mind in League there it's not just a skin. Here it's just skin.
exactly, which is why I want to know like how much do you value a skin in Prismata, right?
Currently, with no animations, no sounds, nothing like that, you know. Probably not as much as I'm theoretically playing with the shards, like.
Yeah.
But you know, I guess I don't personally think of these legendary skins as $5 value, but I still pay the shards for them, and
Yeah.
the value was supporting Lunark
Of course.
because I like
of
the
course.
game.
Yeah,
Like
what
the
about
skin
you?
is just, you know, a way to show off.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're asking that question, if there was a skin that I had to have because it would change my life, and I think I would only pay this for base set units. I don't think I would pay for random units at this price level, but I would probably be willing to pay like up to $5. My voice is gone now. Up to $5 for a base set skin, no more than
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 for a non-base set skin that I really like. I think that would be probably where I would put it because keep in mind there's 100 units. So if I bought one skin for every unit, that's already spending $200 on
Yeah.
the game.
See, that's a really like that's I think an incorrect way of looking at it because you never like a lot of people look at it that way like okay, how much do I have to spend to get like a full collection of skins or like get a skin for every unit, and it's like skins aren't made in that fashion. Like they pump out a lot of skins which only some of which like people will like
Yeah, some are
20%
really cool.
will like these skins, like 20% will like the other skins, and they just pump out as many skins as possible so that they reach everybody, like so that everyone has a skin they like. So thinking like, oh my god, I have to spend so much money to get all the skins is, personally, I think just stupid because
No, but okay, so let's scale it back then. Let's say that you like a particular theme. You like the medieval theme. There's 20 skins in the medieval theme. Now price it, right? Because you
Yeah.
do want the whole theme, right?
Yeah.
So now, if there's 20 and you're spending, let's say
Yeah, how
$100.
expensive are those skin bundles going to be? Because
Yeah.
they have
Exactly.
a little tab that's grayed out for bundles, right? And
That's,
probably
that's-
what it's going to be.
yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like
Skin
maybe
sets.
maybe they don't need to sell individual skins, but they could sell team bundles, right?
Yeah.
so
Entire
that-
skin sets, some which are small, some which are big.
Yeah, so that maybe you don't necessarily need to like go through RNG, but if you really want a unit, you're gonna probably have to buy a bundle. So they still gain more money than they would if they just sold it each skin separately, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that might be like the way they're going into it. Like we don't know obviously, but
Yeah.
that's interesting because I know like I mean a lot of people buy skins in League and those cost like $5-10 easily, right? Some. I think like a chroma pack, which is like a recoloring, just recolor your champion, costs $5 if I remember correctly. And like to me that's insane. I would never pay that much, but some people do. And it's intriguing to see that people value like actual skins in Prismata less than a recoloring per se. So I don't know. It's just
Well, that might just speak to the quality of the skins, right? That might not be like we all have played this game for so long. We love the original art or whatever the case may be. So to see it in a different color is nice, right? Because we already like the way the unit's designed, and it's a simple change, and it doesn't really change anything. Where like if you're looking at say a unit like the Chibi units, they don't even look like the same units, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
you know, it's a completely redesigned look, so maybe somebody doesn't like that. Whereas, you know, just having, you know, Centurion in purple, whatever, you know, just throwing something out there, you might like that because you already like Centurion and you want it to be purple, or in your case, the blue glow or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess like last topic maybe, Legends mode. You guys have any fun games with that?
I mean, there was of course the game I had with you, and I really like getting lots of Zatrons. I had a couple against, I want to say, Mr. Guy, where it was Zatron and Lucina. I don't know, maybe it was against Massen. I don't remember, but that I just love getting like triple Zatron and then just going into like Lucina per turn, and it's just you can do huge things. But
Yeah.
Too big.
Yeah.
There's some really fun sets and some really not fun sets in Legends
Yeah.
mode, because there's units that combo with themselves too much.
yeah, I think you could take the
Yeah.
idea of Legends mode and make a slightly different mode that is a lot more fun. Like a lot of Legends also want to combo with other random units.
Yeah.
Like I think a like equality mode where just every unit in Prismata has supply 10.
That
Could be cool.
That could be cool. Yeah, I agree. But I had like an insane game versus Andreas right before right before we started all of this. Not right before, but whatever, 2 hours ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Where he went Thunderhead into double Tia right after, and I went Arca versus his Thunderhead, and basically like I was able to kill Thunderhead the following turn, attack with Arca, like hold 5 drones back or whatever, get breached for 6 of my Tarsiers. But he couldn't kill all my drones, and I was able to buy an Ossified and leave 2 drones back, so that he needed to attack with both Tias to kill my Arca, and they were on like the last stamina. But if he attacked on that turn, he wouldn't be able to kill my Ossified, and he was left with 1 Gauss Cannon.
Wow.
So it was like an insane game where if he doesn't attack with Tias, he doesn't kill
just-
Arca, because I then kill
Yeah.
like a Tia. But if he does, then he doesn't kill my Ossified, which allowed me to rebuild, and it was like the
Oh,
last
man.
thing I had left with like...
The old ossified versus Gauss cannon win.
Wow.
And that was the
That is
second
too close.
Ossified I bought in the game, right? So it wouldn't have been possible in the normal game. I mean, obviously double Tia, but yeah, that was like an
Wait, so
amazing
is
game.
Legends active again?
Yes.
And I've been wasting
Yeah, they
all
turned
this
it back
time
on.
that I could have been playing Legends, talking to you guys.
What, you haven't been talking while we've been playing? I've been doing that.
Oh, you've been playing Legends while we've been talking? Nice.
Clearly.
nice.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, for sure.
But
No, I have yet to play a single Legends game. I have not played it. I missed the first event, so
oh, you better get on that as soon as this ends.
yeah. As soon as this ends, I better go play some Legends.
Oh no, but and before that, I had like another insane game versus Arca where, like 3 saviors versus 4 saviors. It was just like
Oh my god.
Did 4 saviors win?
yes.
Agreed battle? Yeah.
Yeah.
4 saviors has to win, right? Whoever
Yeah.
stops getting savior first wasn't greedy enough and they deserve to
No,
lose.
no, no. I stopped getting savior first, but I got 2 more saviors after that, kind of.
Oh,
So
okay.
I went
Okay.
first savior, he mirrored. I went second, like I went third savior, he went fourth. I did 2 double drone, then he did 5th savior, and then I did 6th and 7th savior.
Simultaneously.
Not simultaneously.
Oh, okay.
I had what did I have? I had a game where I bought Windsor and Savior on the same turn. It was pretty sick.
Like, which one was a lie?
Which one was a lie?
Yeah.
No, Legends mode is insanely fun.
I
It's
had
nice-
some fun ones with Centrifuge and Windsor. I just like got an economy that could buy Centrifuge every turn, and then I just bought Windsor off of every single Centrifuge. And then
How
I
did
think
you
I
have
got
enough
some
drones?
I got some endotherm kits in there. I like held the first Windsor, and then like the next 2 arrive, and I just like I think I like clicked the first Windsor and then held the next two, and then 4 Windsors come out along with like the 2 endo gates. And I got him good.
I got him good.
I got him good, boys.
So did you kill everything in one turn? Is that how it ended up?
Yeah.
Basically, that's what you do with Windsor.
Yeah, you like freeze the defenses that exist, kill everything that matters, and like buy a little bit of attack or something.
Triple
Or maybe
drone,
have like
drone.
1 or 2 drones left.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And just win after that. Like, after a long time, but you do.
Yep.
But yeah, oh my god. Like, they even click saver when you have 4 of them. Right? It's like...
Like, that's the problem, though, is that there's Savior in Legends mode is almost always wrong because there's never a health seed for you.
Yeah.
You have like 20 walls.
Well,
but
no.
You can never have polywall.
Thunderhead. You have Thunderheads.
Yeah, but Thunderhead Rush can beat Savior.
No, no, it can't.
What? Thunderhead,
Legends
Thunderhead,
mode?
Thunderhead, Thunderhead? Yeah, of course
If
it
someone
can.
just goes into Chain Thunderhead, if you even went 1 Savior, if they just like rush that,
What? You've
you're
got
not gonna win
Centurion.
making
And you have Centurion defense.
you have Centurion. But how do you even get a Centurion out against
What
that?
chrono filter?
Oh man, is that a 5-unit combo or a 4-unit combo?
That's a 5-unit combo. I mean,
Okay,
Thunderhead, Centurion, Savior, chrono filter. That's actually 4, right? Easy.
Well, how many legends are there total? It might not be
There's-
that unreasonable.
There's
Just
5.
No, no, no.
But
Like
there's
all of
19 legends.
in 9.
Oh, sorry.
19 legendaries.
Yeah, you get
That's
5
what I'm
out
saying.
of legends.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
But I did manage to buy triple Thunderhead in a turn versus Arca in that 4 versus 3 Savior game.
That's
Wow.
pretty great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just like big chieftains, right?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, they die on the first turn, but it's fine. 5 damage, 10 HP, pretty decent.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
And you have 20 supply of them, so you
Yeah,
gotta go through
you just
that,
keep
you know?
going, right? I was considering buying Centurions for more health seeds, right? But
Centurion, Centurion,
And you have
every
20
turn.
conduits available, so you can feasibly be making at least
4 per
4
turn.
Thunderheads
Yeah.
a turn. 5 turns.
I was on 10 conduits for a while, and I was just like, wait, I should be getting at least 3 per turn, and I got like 5 more conduits.
Has anybody bought multiple Zamoras?
Multiple
Yeah, I
Zamoras.
have. Yeah,
Nice.
multiple Zamoras is good.
Andreas did it versus me, and a single Lucina won. So that was.
I mean, if I go Zamora and then my opponent goes Zamora, I'm gonna go
You're
Zamora
going.
too.
Every time, without fail.
If they're not gonna go Zamora, you know, I might peel back the greed a little.
we can
But-
I think we can all agree that Reservoir and Antema are literally cancer though in
Yeah.
Legends mode. It's not fun. Antema especially, it's just not fun at all.
Yeah.
Well, because
and
there's
then
no legend that can counter that.
Yeah, it's just
if there's neither of those, then Gossip is the next
Oh.
cancer.
well,
Is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
I mean,
Just-
you have
just
forever
make Gauss.
health.
If you make Gauss Fab every turn,
Yeah, you
it's
just
like,
have health.
they have to be killing you. They have to get in there and kill your drones fast. Like if you have 3 Gauss Fabs up, it's over.
You kind of
Yeah.
need. I mean, Amperilla, if it was a legendary, could beat it, right? But other than that, there's nothing that scales
I
that.
don't think
I'm
so.
not sure if it could.
If it gets there fast enough, maybe.
I don't
But
think it
you have
does.
walls.
I really
Yeah, I
don't
don't
think it
know.
does. Maybe for like, actually no. Player 1 can get the first fab, though. I don't think they can follow up the second fab as fast.
You don't want to just rush Fab. You want to rush an economy that makes fabricators every turn.
Yeah, player 2 has like the best ever opening for that. You go drone, conduit, drone, Gauss fab into conduit, and like maybe double Gauss cannon or like single Gauss cannon.
I love how we're spending so much time on teaching the community how to play Legends mode, and we're
Legends
not
mode is
talking.
best mode.
Legends mode is
We're not
fun.
talking about like real game strategy.
We're
Where
gonna
we-
have a Legends mode competition right after POC, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to be ready for that tournament. You definitely want that badge, the King
Yeah.
of Legends. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Would you guys have any thoughts for new events down the road? I mean, Masson made one that was pretty interesting, or made a suggestion for one on Reddit that was pretty interesting today,
Yeah.
which was the cell, you know, be able to liquidate Animus Blast Forge Conduit.
There's a lot of different events they could do. I think like an AR grounds event is like would be just fine.
An RNG event.
RNG event is fine. Like if they really want to embrace the casual nature, they need to make stuff that completely breaks Prismata's balance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see a cool Christmas event. Like,
Yeah.
things go on sale, but you gotta buy them for other people, and, you know, some people will make their Smurfs and buy things for themselves, but it could be a pretty great Secret Santa event. You know, could happen.
I think I saw a mode on someone suggested on Reddit where everything only has one supply, except like tech buildings. You can get as much tech as you need to be able to buy all the units.
Yeah.
But I think that would actually be a really cool mode because then you can't. Your strategy has to be, even drone.
Yeah, you can't like you have to hold economy, right?
Doesn't player 2 just win if there's like a decent absorb unit?
What do you mean?
Well, because
Like,
they have
they have
one
a-
additional drone.
They have an extra drone. You're not allowed to get a big enough economy to justify a big absorber, but you can still buy it, not get pressured for like so many turns, and then just make more gold than your opponent.
Well, you
Unless
could,
there's buy.
well, you could allow P1 to equalize drones. So give P1
Two
one
drone
drone,
supply.
2 drone supply.
Okay,
And that
yeah,
way-
do something like that.
Yeah.
That should balance it.
And then, so then it's like
Because
something
they
like
have
drone versus drone conduit would be like a standard opening.
Yeah, probably. That would be probably good enough.
I think that'd be really
balance-wise.
cool because then your strategy has to like involve all the units to be
Yeah, to be good
effective,
enough,
and
right?
you can't just be like, I'm going to do 10 Fang
Yeah.
and just buy
Yeah.
a Fang every turn I can until I
Like
can't.
choose the correct order to buy things in.
Yeah, you have to choose.
But
the
do you
correct order.
ever just like farm Lucina or something like that? Or
Well, you might start with more drones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Make it start
Yeah.
with like mid econ.
Though I think balance
with
like that would
12
make it
drones.
harder to balance as well. So
It
yeah, I don't know.
might not.
Again,
I mean,
It's an event, so
Yeah,
they have
again,
as much time to
I
figure out
don't
how
think
to
like
balance
balance
it.
is super important, but
it'd be more balanced than Legends mode. That's for sure.
I disagree. I think balance mode is completely and totally balanced.
Balanced mode is balanced. Is that what you just said?
Mode is balanced.
Legend, yeah.
Yeah.
Legends mode is now balanced mode. You've heard it here first.
Yep. Balance.
But
Yeah, you could have both players start with the same number of drones and have player 2 just start with like half that amount of gold in the bank.
Yeah, something like
Right.
that maybe.
mhm.
And
Sounds
then
good.
you get half a turn ahead however you want, buying whatever resource building is most conveniently putting you half a turn ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of different events they could do. Like, a lot of different events they could do, and I don't know. I think, like, I think one thing with the events, especially since we're still in alpha, is to just go, try them. Like, just try them out. If community doesn't like them, fine, don't do it again. If community likes them, great, right? Don't, like, overanalyze if something is going to be good, right?
Well, you also have to keep in mind the amount of effort that they have to put into each
Yeah.
of the back end, right? Because if it's just a supply change or something like that, then it's not that much of an investment. But let's say that an event's testing a potential new mechanic. Now they have to, code the mechanic and
Sure,
add-
but I don't think they have to do anything as extreme as that. Just play around with it. Like, do very small things that just change how Prismata is played and see if it's fun, right? It's alpha and it's an events mode that is like open for one day, right? It's not like it's going to, I don't know, completely, like, if people don't like it, it's not the end of the world. It's not like everybody is gonna quit because, like, the event mode isn't extremely fun.
Yeah.
So you want to see more events during the alpha though?
I think, yeah, would be cool.
Yeah.
Just to see, like, maybe they get a better feeling of what is and what isn't fun for the community,
Yeah.
right? Though it is kind of skewed because we're alpha players, so we're not, like, actually representative of what the community is
Yeah.
going to be like afterwards.
and also
Yeah,
we're-
but whenever they release new keys, they get the picture of, oh, do players stick with the game when it looks like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you also have to keep in consideration that not just alpha players. We're the diehard alpha players that have been playing now for almost a year or over a year, or
Yeah.
we're not. None of
Yeah.
us are standard alpha players.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think. I don't think any of us has really taken a break from the game since we started playing.
Yeah, not like a
Yeah.
long
We might
break
have,
anyways.
yeah, nothing extended. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty
And
sure I
then,
was at the top of the leaderboard a year ago.
No,
oh, how
Bear
things
was.
have changed. Oh, how things have changed.
Well, you're still
Oh,
in the
I've
top 8 of
been
all
up there.
players, right? Or top 6 even. There we go.
At least for the punk, yeah.
Yeah. But no. Like definitely, like I. Just in general, I feel like they have the freedom to try more than they try, basically.
Well,
I-
again, you're
I don't know.
assuming
They don't have very many people.
Well, yeah, and you're also assuming that there isn't any back end effort. I'm sure that, like when Elliot made the 3 modes, he did it on a live stream, and he was working for a while to get them
No,
up.
no, no, no,
front.
no, 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 no. I'm not saying like just do everything, but I mean like in terms of balance and whatnot, I feel they can be more free with the decisions. Like they don't have to spend weeks analyzing if the balance is perfect, right?
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
you're maybe shirking just the raw coding, and that needs a
No,
person
no, no.
to.
But like I'm saying, balance changes to a unit, for example. It's not hard to change cost by 1 for coding wise. It really isn't, right?
Yeah, it's just
But
changing a
They
number.
spend a lot of time like making sure that the balance change is really really good, right? And I like personally I just feel like
A lot of time, possibly. Like sometimes they just want to like push it in a little over tweaked in one direction just to see like
Yeah.
how bad is it. Like Redeemer, he kind of just like
yeah, no,
put it
Redeemer
down
got
another
changed a
gold or
lot
two
really
from where it
fast,
was
yeah.
originally put, just to
Um,
see like, oh, let's try this version. And Deadeye when is at 3 stamina instead of 4 or 5
See,
because 3 stamina is the huge nerf.
Like
that you
Elliot
could
just
do.
commented, I can do something like Mason's mode with selling ABC in literally 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, okay, so it's not a huge time
It
investment.
really isn't, and I feel like, especially since we're an alpha, like I wouldn't suggest to do this when like the game is live because things a bit more complicated. That like some people expect more quality, right? But in alpha, like having
Just
things that aren't
Throw it
perfect,
against the wall till it sticks.
I guess
Yeah.
you could say it that
Yeah.
way. It's just like I don't know. It's like let the community actually help balance, or not even just balance. Like let us provide you more feedback, right? By giving us more things to try out. That's kind of like what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, so this kind of leads in to something else. How do you guys feel about when new units are launched that they do the aggressive, these units are more frequent than other units?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I really
I-
like
Yeah,
it.
it makes sense.
It can like overemphasize certain combos, like Bloodphage Galvani came out in the same patch, and there was a lot of
God.
there was a lot of things you could do with those 2 units, and you could do them every time. But
Yeah.
and then that was the patch with thorium in it though. So and that was the patch with crazy thorium. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
It like
I
let
think
us realize that thorium was ridiculous very quickly. Bloodphage not quite as quickly, but
So,
it
so
was up there.
and that's the problem perhaps with theming unit releases, is that you only get one type of game, right? Because when
Yeah.
they launched thorium, there was a lot of breach proof,
Mhm.
wasn't there?
Or wait, oh, and am I thinking of a different unit, wasn't it? I thought it was thorium that came out at the same time as those 2, but maybe I'm wrong.
I feel like thorium came out with tantalum ray and came out
Tantalum.
with borehole. That's what I feel.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So it
thorium
was a
coming
lot
from-
of breach. Well, thorium.
Breach-proof games.
Or-
Yeah.
I think it might have been that thorium was changed that week. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now I feel
Yeah,
like
it
I'm
actually
crazy.
got nerfed almost right
Okay.
away because it was insane that conduits were as efficient as drones.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm just imagining that also being the case right now, while Breachproof is already insanely strong, just make it even stronger.
The thing about the conduits being as valuable as drones, though, is that you got so much money that you could just also defend and just be like defending with a breach-proof endgame plan.
Yeah,
and-
it's...
And like dynamos are actually kind of breach vulnerable because once you have that conduit investment, if there's not like Cluster Bolt or Zamora, Dynamos are
Yeah.
making 9 gold a turn at 10 health.
Yeah,
So
that's true. They're like normal drones at that point.
you just would kill it. Yeah, they were like normal drones, except that you had a like 40 gold economy.
Yeah.
Those days were ridiculous.
But,
Well, and again, that's what's really nice though about just Prismata design in general is the fact that they can go and tweak whatever they need to tweak to balance it out after the fact. It's one of the more attractive things about the game.
Yeah.
there is no like printed
Yeah.
stuff, so it's not like hard to change like in say MTG, or I'm not sure if Dominion is the same, because I know it's
Dominion
also a
units
dual
never
board
change.
game. Yeah,
Well, they never change. Once a unit's been released, whether it's broken or not,
Yeah.
it'll never get adjusted. And this is
Yeah.
true of all collectible card games, right? All
Yeah,
of them.
Not
MTG's like that too.
all of them that have
Hearthstone.
printed cards.
I mean-
Hearthstone
Hearthstone
shouldn't be
changes
like
cards.
that, but it kind of is. They
No,
don't
but-
change enough.
They
Yeah.
nerfed Leroy and like other cards. I
They've
remember,
nerfed
but
like
yeah, it's
a
pretty rare.
few cards, but it's
But
super rare.
they run into a big problem that someone paid money for that set of, they invested real money into a card or getting a card that they really wanted, and now they make a change, and those people are pretty salty, right?
No, they give you like the ability to dust it
Dust
and
'em?
buy something else.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
but the
it's
problem
not
with
the
that
same
is that
value.
if you have a deck and you've spent this money into a deck
yeah,
that's
yeah.
built
that's
around this
true.
one card, you nerf the deck and then your other cards are useless.
Well, I mean, they really didn't have a problem completely killing a deck with the latest change, and they've done it before as well. They don't
It leaves a
for
bad
the
taste in players' mouths, which
No,
will
the
never
thing
happen
is
in
like
Prism.
they don't make small balance changes, which is absolutely insane. One of their so like Hearthstone's balance team, one of the reasons why they don't like changing cards is that players will get confused when they go into a game and the card won't do what it says. And like the
I
game
mean, I've
has an
experienced
inbuilt
this.
feature that when you load into the game, there is a pop-up that tells you this card has been changed to now read blah 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 blah. And like
Yeah,
their
but you just see
excuse
this
to
message
not-
and you're like, words. I don't want words. Close this box.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I
Hearthstone.
want to play a game.
Their excuse to not balancing the game is that players might get confused because they won't read some
Yeah.
text. It's like that is
It's
the
a-
single most
It's
like
a business decision, right? You're if you nerf a card, you're giving people all these like dust back, and they can go get a card with dust
yeah,
instead of having
yeah.
to pay for
It's
it.
like they don't care about the balance, right? And I mean, in my opinion, they don't care enough about the balance because they just kind of want a only casual game, to be honest. That's what it looks like, anyways.
Happily, Lunark does not want this. They want a highly competitive game with
Yeah.
Yeah,
good
no.
competitive
Again,
balance.
I was just bringing it up because what's great about it is
Yeah, is
they're
that they
not
can
worried about
change it, and yeah, I love it because
Yeah.
they
can make
should
changes
they
whenever they
should
want.
make use of this.
Yeah, I think that even a completely balanced Prismata will still have sort of player advantaged or auto winny sets. I think it's just like the goal should be to make that become a like very far outlier sets that need a lot of units to make these combos,
Yeah.
and as long as they're made as rare as possible, I think that would be ideal Prismata balance.
I think
But you can never get rid of the effect of like, oh, I see all of these units. All of these units are more convenient for me to build than my opponent to build. I can
Yeah.
win this game
It's,
by having a very efficient opening.
yeah,
Yeah.
It should just be rare. There just needs to be like units that are also efficient for the other player a lot of the time.
yeah.
So how do you feel about tweaking like likelihood of appearance of units based on other units that are appearing in the set?
I don't think you should do that.
It's,
I think pure random is good, and I think like the player still has to find the line that's
Yeah.
there.
I think having too big of like a control over how sets
Appear?
what type of sets appear is actually bad because it decreases diversity a lot. And like
Yeah.
I personally like I don't like certain strategies in Prismata. I like everything as a whole. I like the whole diversity in Prismata, where every single game is kind of different, and that's, I think, one of its strongest, like one of the strongest points of Prismata. So I would really hate to lose that.
Yeah, you're forced to learn the complete game. Like, a chess player can learn a very small fraction of the openings for white if they want. You could just only learn openings at a queen pawn and just like only learn certain responses to I mean, you have to learn the other things because you have to learn how to play them as black, of course, but you don't have to know the whole like book of moves that you could do in chess because you can just decide not to do certain moves ever. And Prismata just you can't play like that.
No, you have to
be able to
be comfortable with all. Yeah, absolutely. So, do we have any closing thoughts? I think we're kind of getting to the point where it's time to wind
I want
down.
to thank you guys for having me on. I mean, you guys have a lot of great people to choose from to have on your first podcast, and I'm honored to be selected for the very first one.
Well, we
Feels
really,
good, man.
It was unanimous almost. We were really happy to have you on as well.
It was
so.
unanimous.
Yeah, it wasn't
you.
a question. So we wanted you, and we appreciate your time. So
yeah, thanks guys.
Yep.
It was a great podcast. I actually absolutely like really enjoyed this, and I'm not sure when the next one will be, but probably after Worlds, possibly the week after Worlds, or maybe after the first balance change after Worlds.
Yeah.
So
there will probably be big balance changes that come afterwards. I would think because that's like the time to like you've had World Championships, now it's time to shake things up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm just impressed that we were able to fill 2.5 hours plus and not really even bat an eye at it. We were talking about how long can the format be? How long can we actually discuss things?
I was actually worried that maybe there's not enough in Prismata to talk about, but no. This is completely fine. And
we got on before, and we were like just talking about things like the topics before, and Crash was like, "No, leave it for the podcast." I'm just
Stop talking about it.
We have content for
There's
hours.
too much good content.
Yeah. We touched like what 3 or 4 units.
Well, it's the big units that have been like common right now, or I guess not common, but like the big units right now, and those units always change from patch to patch, I think, right?
Yeah.
Because certain strategies just become more profound or more out there, I guess.
Yeah, or as other units get nerfed, certain things just start shining through as like the best unit in Prismata.
So, but this was great fun.
Yeah, I had a blast, guys. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Apooche, for joining us. It was really nice of you to be here.
It was great.
And thank you all of you for watching, listening to us. This'll all be like archived on Twitch, highlighted probably, and then I'll upload it on my YouTube channel as well. So if you missed any part of it, you can rewatch it or re-listen to it, or not re-listen to it, but yeah, you can listen to it there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can listen to it as many times as you want, though.
Yeah,
absolutely. You just keep listening to it, because there's so many gems of just amazing.
Just put it on repeat for a month, right?
Yeah.
Constantly. But that's it from us, and we'll see you next podcast, guys.
Yeah.
All right.